Which way are you leaning in this one, Jordan?
I think Carlton initially, you just got to look at the outs of the Giants. I think Finn Callahan, he's had a fantastic season so far. So they cop another injury in and around that midfield. So another bigger body to go against Hewitt and Cripps and the like. So that'll be a real challenge. You only need one game. I think if you're looking from the Giants' point of view, you only need one game to feel good again and to see the evidence and the work that you've been putting in throughout the week. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a really hard-fought, contested game. So both sides need to buy into that.
Of course, these teams met twice last season. They split at 1-1, but both games were shootouts.
Yeah, they were.
Tommy, almost both teams kicking 100 points. Carlton have played in the lowest scoring games of the season this year, but what are you expecting?
Well, I'm not sure if we're quite going to get a shootout today, Joey, but we've certainly got the right venue for that to potentially happen. But, yeah, as Jody said, exciting. Carlton have the week off next week, so I expect that they'll be out to take the moment, as Michael Voss has said during the week, and they'll be up for the challenge.
So looking forward to this one. Super Saturday under the roof at Marvel Stadium. It'll be DeConing back into the side for Carlton against Kieran Briggs. Tom Greene and Paddy Cripps lock horns at this centre bounce. Hewitt wrapped up by Bedford, who we heard from Adam Kingsley. Will go to Paddy Cripps.
Yeah, big challenge for Toby. He's quite often week in, week out playing against opponents who are at least a foot taller than him.
Giving away some size, isn't he, tonight, this afternoon?
Just said, yeah, the key for Toby is to try and maintain body contact and not let Cripps use his strength in and around the contest. He'll need help, though.
So here is Toby Greene. In game 250, pick 11 in that 2011 draft, an inaugural Giant. He's gone on to be a bad boy, a superstar, a captain, and now probably the greatest Giant of all time. And he'll be keen to lead his charges this afternoon. He just drives this one in as deep and as far as he can. DeConing got hands to it. Player hasn't played the mark, so it's put himself under pressure. Walsh was there to save the day for Doherty. Another one of those 5 changes. A kick to a contest. Leclerc with his first influence. Handball from Hillwood, picked off by Chera. And they get out of trouble from Hewitt.
We just have to slow it down here. There is no Carlton players for the ball.
And you can see the shots there. They're going to have to run it by hand. So Akers and Fogarty all involved. And the kick's a beauty to Will White.
That was high-level work rate by Will White. They had no one presenting for the ball, so he had to be really strong in his leading pattern, go back towards goal, then duck back up.
And this is the critical kick. You can see they're happy to be patient, and he was happy to try and create something. It didn't quite work, although Briggs dropped an easy, uncontested mark in the end, and we'll get a stoppage inside 50 for the Blues.
And that's what we're talking about with their, scores per inside 50, just clearing out, forwards leading. There wasn't a lot of movement in that play.
Briggs is hit. Almost went out of bounds on the full. It would have been a free kick, but just hit the line.
So you just wonder whether that kick inside forward 50 is more about getting defensively set up behind the ball rather than targeting a really dangerous part of the inside 50, top of the goal square, give your forwards a chance.
Yeah, we talked about that. The big boys just need to compete. It's a great way to get them involved early in the game.
There is Himmelberg, who wins this clearance. We'll go towards a one-on-one. Young O'Farrell in his first one-on-one contest, and does a pretty good job of it. In fact, did a really good job. Got the ball back to Sard. He'll send a high floater, and only as far as Himmelberg again.
I love the fact Himmelberg's on the wing, and if he starts clunking a few, he's going to play a big part in this transition game.
He moved to the wing a few weeks ago. He's held his spot there with good kick. Leclerc coming into the side. It was a great kick for Brown. And now they want to get their run and handball game going. Thomas to Tom Greene. Has options inside 50. Pulls the kicking board. It's a beauty to Toby Greene, who just tries to creep a little metre off the mark. He's clever, isn't he? And I reckon he might have too.
We saw his highlights before the game. He can kick a tall. Not sure who came with it the first quarter, but probably right on his distance.
This will be some sort of start for his team away from home. They've lost 4 of their last 5. GWS Giants, in between that was that terrific win down at Geelong. They really need to get rolling. And such a wonderful player. 2-time Best and Fairest winner. 3-time All-Australian. He lets it fly from 50. Just tailed off late. First score of the day.
Good signs though. You look at their transition game, which has been quite good. Top 5 in the league in terms of D50 to inside 50. So as Himmelberger's that winger, gets back hard, uses his penetrating kick.
Oh, Walsh has been penalised for running too far. It did feel like he went a long way, particularly once he tried to step Darcy Jones, and this will gift a shot at goal for the Giants early.
We talked a little bit about Carlton's key forwards. Now, Charlie Curnow was about 70 metres away from the ball there, which is just too far from the actual kicker. So the pressure comes on a guy like Walsh in that instance, and then he's forced to make something happen and then ends up running too far. So just needs to be a touch higher, Charlie.
Good barometer for this Giants side, Darcy Jones. He plays well. Generally, the team perform. He's kicked 9 goals, 5 on the season. He steers this one just across the face.
I think you're right, Tom. I think that's been part of the issue going inside forward 50 as well. The forwards set themselves up 60, sometimes 70 metres away from the ball carrier. So those longer kicks allow the opposition to get in to a really strong recovery position, and certainly defensively.
The kick did get to Charlie Curnow. He went to start and straight away wanted to come back inboard and get the handball off Doherty. Oh, he's run himself into a bit of trouble. He'll need to be creative. Brilliant kick. That's what they want to see from this Carlton side, the fans, through the corridor. Some expression, but that kick missed Hollands, and Himmelberg's had a bit of ball early. Saves this man, Toby Greene. Those players streaming past. It was the two half-backs, Whitfield one way, Ash on the other. He decides to go wider to Ware. And now it looks deep. Sees Cadman, but he's got Wiedering in the way. He couldn't take the mark. Thomas tried to ride the tackle, lost possession. Now eventually we will get a ball up, dangerous spot.
Yeah, it's not a bad result, but I still reckon when Toby got that mark in the middle of the ground, instead of going wide, allowing Carlton to fold back, you've got to be able to look for a handball receive. Callum Brand was that player.
Here is Wiedering. A big job this afternoon. Curnow looks lively early, getting up the ground. He wants to wheel and go. Sees Mackay in a one-on-one. He was in the box seat, and it was a great kick to advantage. Now it's an open forward line for Mackay. They're only the smalls down there, and they've got Taylor to contend with. It's a 3v2, and I think the Blues will be happy to take the stoppage in the end.
They'll be really happy. That was a great contest. Fogarty down there, outnumbered, outsized, and that's going to be a huge part of what we need to see from their forward half players today, is just create contests, bring it to ground, get the ball out of bounds where you can set yourself back up.
An opportunity here for the Blues inside 50. Fogarty comes through. And hear the round of applause in the background. That is, of course, one final moment to honour Robert Wills at 12:42 p.m. 12 seasons at the club as Curnow lets one fly. And now they do get a big round of applause. And that is for their new superstar in Charlie Curnow. Nice gesture there led by the Carlton cheer squad for Robert Wolves. And then they get off their feet, the whole fan base, as Charlie Curnow puts through the first of the day.
I was a bit critical of him early for being too deep, but he seemed to get himself up the ground a little bit. Now that's okay if your opponent comes with you, but he's just got a wonderful goal sense. Beautiful shot when he gets outside 50. And just a great finish, and what better way to get yourself in the game early than to kick one from outside 50.
He doesn't need much time, does he? And space, Charlie Curnow. He's been active early, already up to the 4 disposals, but he just played his part in what was a beautiful little sign to the great Robert Walls.
It's now 16 goals coming into this game in the last 6 weeks. He's been building his form, started well. High ball, centre half forward. There's Nick Haynes playing against his old side. A little kick from Angove. Found Hogan, but he turns it over to Saad. And now the Blues are away and running. Durden. Another one into the team table. White's been active. Has Young on a lead. He'll honour him. Cripps has drifted forward on Bedford. That might be a matchup they want to go to. Exploit the size advantage. They do! And Cripper takes full advantage and sits on the shoulders of Toby Bedford.
Yeah, that's exactly where Toby Bedford does not want to be. One out with a little bit of speed on the ball further up the ground. Well done to Paddy Cripps to challenge the smaller midfielder forward of the ball.
He now needs to finish the work, Paddy Cripps. He'll take his time. He'll step out. He'll get the perfect shape and the perfect start for the Blues.
I think, Tommy, already what we can see is Carlton are trying to put speed on the ball. So as soon as the Giants go inside their own forward 50, a shallow entry allows Carlton to get on the mic and use the numbers through the middle of the ground. But I love this. You've got to take a player, a direct opponent in Toby Bedford deep forward. And then the other players in and around you need to realise that and isolate that matchup.
I couldn't agree more, Geordie. We also saw Tom De Koning challenging. Now, he plays to high game time, and he's going to see a bit of Briggs, he's going to see a bit of Riccardi, but his ability to be able to get forward as well and challenge is a clear indicator for them to be more efficient going forward inside 50.
Both teams are fast starters this season. Of course, Carlton have won 8 of their 10 first quarters, the Giants 7 of 10. But it's the Blues that look confident at the moment. Cripps tries to rip out that clearance to Koning. Walsh. Jones was bearing down. Saar got his hands free. Back to Walsh, who sees the lead of Curnow. Really positive signs early, Tom Hawkins, for the Blues ball movement.
Yeah, certainly was, Joey. And just watching ahead of the ball, Charlie Curnow's constant movement, it was what allowed him to get the space there. So it was a bit of a crossover with a teammate, running the pattern behind to be able to give him the initial space where the defenders had to change over. So he's active early, Charlie.
Already got one under the belt. 55, he won't get that to shake back enough.
It is a good point, though. Like we see Charlie Curnow lead out. He's got 2 metres on his direct opponent, but it's the work that he does before getting separation that allows these players to get involved. I think it's worrying signs for the Giants already. The ball movement's got speed on it. They're able to break tackles and get the ball out into open spaces, give their forwards a chance.
Lockie Ash runs a long way. Carlton crowd wanted to let the umpire know. Gets it out towards the wing. Jones leading the race. A couple of fumbles. Well done from Matt Carroll. Rode him out of it. Doherty sweeps it wide to Weeder, and he's got some time and space to gather. Assess his options, and again they'll go back to Curnow through the hands. Whites couldn't keep it in.
Yeah, he's in everything at the moment, Charlie Curnow. I think if you're looking once again from the Giants' point of view, just getting past the contest, so when Carlton are able to turn that ball over in between the arcs, there are no layers of defence, so Carlton have been able to expose that part of the game.
De Koning able to grab it out of the ruck, didn't have any midfielders in support. His handball was too sharp, went out of bounds again.
So ahead of the ball, Sam Taylor's trying to get to Charlie Curnow, but Lewis Young isn't having a bar of it. So watch those 2 matchups, Curnow, Aliir and Taylor and Young.
There's Cripps again. Got the hands free. The Koning under pressure. Giants have the numbers. They'll work it through Himmelberg. Who will now kick towards a one-on-one. Speaking of some great matchups, here's going to be another beauty. Weedering and Hogan. Toby Greene just kicks the territory, but sitting back all alone was Mitch McGovern. So Blues in good shape at the moment. Happy just to build their game. For Doherty. So one of 5 changes today for the Blues. Fogarty, De Koning, Akers and O'Farrell into the team with Doherty. And the rest of the son of Lecalier, the ins for GWS. So happy to be patient.
They're just going to wait for something to open up in the middle of the ground, which we've seen so far in the early part of this first quarter. They have to maintain density through the corridor.
And a good build-up so far. And now they can look to go once they get forward of centre. McGovern for Mackay. Hands outstretched. Might have been an arm chop. No, lets them play. Cripps pushing forward again. And Taylor now to Bedford. Kick to a contest. Giants have the extra number. Just got to win this ground ball. Jones will feed it back to Ward. And now O'Halloran. Thought about going to Tom Greene. Carroll did nicely. Forced him to retreat. Kick to Riccardi. Now he has Toby Greene, who just has to think his way through it, which he does better than nearly any player in the competition.
He just missed that handball to Greene again.
He did. And now he's going to Calls the ball to spill. It might still come to Hogan. It has a fumble. Greene broke the tackle of Ward. Steadies. Fires away. Couldn't clear the hands, although we will have a score review. Scratchy bit of play from Chile.
Yeah, they eventually got it through. They had a numerical advantage forward of the ball. I think sometimes when a player he thinks it's a
Score review, umpire's call is a goal.
right.
Please confirm if the ball crosses the line.
Review underway.
Well, there's the evidence. It will be a goal.
Review complete. Looking at this angle, we see the ball crosses the back of the goal line. Decision on scoreboard.
So made up for it, Toby.
They did it the hard way, but it's still the same result.
Big contest on the wing. They're under some heat from the Carlton Football Club, and as we said, he just missed that handball to Tom Greene on the way past, but we see there his daughter Isla. So it's always nice and the great scenes when the young kids can come to milestone games for their fathers. But this is the build-up. You're right. It didn't look clean at all. There was frontal pressure from Carlton, but once they were through that initial layer of defence, they had an advantage centre forward, and this is probably the hand pass that he missed that we just saw there. The kick was too short, but then it was just a handball to Toby Greene and some brilliance to make up for it. Only just got there though.
Toby Greene has got his first.
What a CV.
A wonderful CV. He's finished top 10 in the BNF 11 of the 13 seasons. You can see all the other accolades. He's the greatest giant of all time. And just the second player to play 250 behind Callum Ward at GWS. We get a repeat stoppage. The Giants can settle into this contest after facing a barrage of inside 50s a few minutes ago. Whitfield has the arm pinned. It's going to be holding the ball. Good tackle from Chera. And in good form, coming off 34 disposals and 20 contested possessions, a career high for him last week against the Swans, as Motlop sees a one-on-one, goes in that direction. Taylor rarely loses. Ground ball now. Holland's coming through. And I think he was looking for the boundary line again. Able to roll himself out.
Yeah, he rarely loses those contests, Sam Young, and that's partly going to be Lewis Young's role today. He doesn't need to have much of an influence. He doesn't need to take marks inside forward 50 or kick goals. He's just trying to take a body, bring the ball to ground and stop the influence of Sam Taylor in the air.
And number one intercept market, intercept possession defender in the competition. And there's going to be a free kick in the right contest. Well, it's the Cardinals sin giving one away in front of goal. It's Jake Riccardi, and it'll go to Harry Mackay.
So both those boys were involved in the centre bounce. Harry Mackay really charged forward once they won it. Oh, it's not his free kick. Ollie Hollands.
He wanted it though, Big Harry, which is rare.
Ollie Hollands had his hands in the air.
Yeah, apologies to Jake Riccardi then. It was off the ball. Ollie Hollands. Try and get another look at that in a moment. But Michael Voss spoke about the conversion. They need to take their opportunities. And Hollands does. Blues have got their third.
He has become, I should say, a really important part of this Carlton Football Club side. Now, last week he had 19 disposals, but it was a career high in metres gained with 548. Is what they love about this young fella. He can transition, and all clubs have them. You know, look at the Giants, and it's sort of been Lockie Whitfield and guys like that that can cover a lot of ground. But this guy covers a huge amount of territory. And is really important in connecting them both defensively and then getting forward and doing it offensively.
Saw the replay, it was against Jacob Ware. Little stumble, clearly put the arm around the shoulder of Ollie Hollands, who's playing a new role today, playing back at half forward. He's been a predominant half back all season. With Carlton bringing in a couple of defenders and his brother Elijah Hollands unavailable, he's been able to impact across half forward. Jesse Motlop will be looking to have a big game, been quiet in recent weeks. We'll talk about his role in the team. And he'll be keen to duck Nicholas around. Mackay having a stick on the ruck. Fonte back to Whitfield. Handball was at the feet of Connor Iden, who had to make it work. He did a pretty good job, although the kick will go wide. It'll favour the Blues. Wiedering overran it. Haynes there in support. Got it to Sard. And they find the uncontested mark. Cooper Lord.
As unnatural as that kick might be going inside forward 50, it actually suits the Giants more so than it does suit Carlton. That messy chaos ball going inside.
Here's Ware, who just gave away that last free kick. Loses the contest to Cripps. Handball couldn't quite find a teammate. And now the Giants will get their run through the corridor. And the Blues force them wide. Himmelberg try and find O'Halloran. At full stretch. This player's queuing up in ball. Callum Brown's at the top of the square. Carlton get numbers back, so he's now going to be forced to kick long and high towards Hogan. Wiedering getting there again. He's dropped another one. You don't usually see that. Opens the door for Brown. And something really that came out of nothing. And Jacob Wiedering, a rare mistake.
Yeah, he really runs under the ball. Jacob Wiedering, such a good one-on-one defender, but being able to zone off and read the ball in the air, so he would know that. It's usually one that he swallows up, so we can see there they all commit to the contest. Callum Brown just stays on the inside, waiting for the ball to spill out. So that's just an opportunity goal. Once again, it wasn't pretty. Jesse Hogan was kept out of the contest by McGovern. And Brown, instead of flying, his direct opponent in Nick Haynes went to fly or get close to the contest. Sometimes you need a bit of luck.
Off one of his better games last week, Callum Brown, he gave number 50 at the 14 disposals, kicked a couple and 8 score involvements. And he's got his first today. Back in the middle, Toby Greene. Going to spend a bit of time on ball. Couldn't take it cleanly. Hewitt to Walsh. Open forward line. Taylor in the box seats. Oh, and then cops one accidentally from Jesse Motlop. We hope he's okay. We know he's had troubles with concussion before, but he looks to have recovered okay. That is good news. He was very brave. He's now Lockie Ash, kicks towards the wing. McGovern sitting at the back. The kick will look for Durden. He will see, can get up if he wants to, but chopped off from Iden. And now Whitfield straight through the corridor at Marvel Stadium. Hogan has an open forward line and players streaming ahead. One of them's Angove. He's got Callum Brown in the pocket. That's where the kick goes. Good ball movement.
So I think that's the challenge. I mean, the kick from Sam Walsh goes deep inside forward 50. Sam Taylor marks it. So he's able to zone off. Then the second kick inside forward 50 is a shallow one, and they can't get numbers behind the ball to defend. So that is the challenge for Carlton going inside their own forward 50.
Brown looking for back-to-back goals. Hits it beautifully. And the Giants are in front.
It was great ball movement because you can just see Carlton always commit to the line, the lane. You can see on turnover here. So their numbers are all down the other side. So there's going to be space on this bottom of screen and wing. You can just see there's condensed numbers of Carlton. They walk through this, they open the side up. They did the same thing to Geelong and got a win at GMHBA Stadium, and then just opens up at the fat side. Beautiful ball movement.
That's why sides are reluctant to go shallow sometimes, aren't they? You know, if that kicks goes to the top of the goal square, well, they're a better chance to defend that, but you take the risk. If you want to go shallow and you can't find a teammate inside forward 50, and the other side have the open side of the ground set up to be able to transition, that's the risk you take.
See there, the last 10 minutes, Giants have responded after a bit of a slow start. Their ball movement in full force. They lead by 1. DeConing clearly gets over the top of Briggs and then follows up his own work. Did it brilliantly. Hollins, Shearer has a player free inside 50. And that's as good as you'll get out of the centre bounce. Lockie Fogarty subbed in that game against the Adelaide Crows. Carlton's poorest performance of the season. He was then dropped after that. Regains his spot in the team today. Not a noted goal kicker for a small forward, but he's got that one. That's
why you become so reliant on the midfielders to not allow the opposition to come straight out the front of the stoppage. Because then what it forces you to do as a defender is come up and apply frontal pressure. And then a small forward is able to duck out the back.
Yeah, and Carlton are doing a really good job at creating space inside their forward 50, and that is off the back of their high half forwards being up around the 50, which creates a huge pool of space that Curnow and Motlop and Young are trying to create. That was just really smart by Lockie Fogarty. Couldn't in fact impact the contest, so get forward and create that outnumber.
Just his 29th goal of his career in his 79th game. Great to see Ollie Hollands getting involved again at half forward to Koenig. Starting to have some real influence in the ruck. Cripps gave it back to him. Now it's a high ball. Ware has to sit under it. Curnow's going to fly. Coming through without the footy was Akers. And a chance here for the Giants. Toby Greene. Another kick around the corner on the grass. But again, the Blues are able to repel. Carroll has got that nice left foot kick on him towards Hollands. Good contest from Ware.
He's providing an option for the ball. Hollands really making Jacob Ware accountable. They've been a little bit unlucky not to get a high free kick again. You just see there the midfielders, Bedford, Cripps, Toby Greene.
There's Durden, Shearer, Nixon, ball at clearance now. Sards, tumbling ball, which way will it bounce? Fogarty has to sit under it. Ango needs to be clean. He's got a good pair of wheels on him. He looks to run off Hogan to O'Halloran. As Harvey Thomas forward of the ball, got him. Ango will keep running. Blues defend it well, so forces the kick long, which will suit the Blues. The wingman in Akers has got back. Sard punched into a dangerous spot on the ground. Toby Greene got the underground kick to work this time. Riccardi around the body, and we are going goal for goal at Marvel Stadium. Good finish, Riccardi.
Yeah, what a finish by Riccardi, but the milestone man, Toby Greene, to be able to thread it through. Saw that they had the outnumber on the outside. Look at this, just delicate little touch. I mean, you need a little bit of luck to find your way through there, but clearly, Geordie, you can see with the way that Toby got it through that he knew he was there, and just a lovely finish. They've been really efficient in front of goal off the back of some really clever pieces of play.
Yeah, so first of all, great contest by Riccardi. So he's 2v1, and he just brings that ball to ground. You've spoken about bringing the ball to ground. In 2 seconds, Toby Greene's got to sum up. Am I going to be tackled? He fumbled, so that allowed the Carlton players to get in, and he just knew that he had a teammate out there. He's outstanding vision.
Footy now of Toby Greene set up that goal for Riccardi. As we mentioned pre-game, we've had a couple of shootouts in recent years, and we might get another goal as Briggs drives it deep. Top of the square, Hogan's lurking. Wiedering did well on that occasion. Got one high. Might be an anomaly, Geordie. As we said, Carlton have played in the lowest scoring games this season, due probably to their good team defence and their inability to really score, but history says these teams can pile on some goals.
This is what Adam Kingsley was touching on. He just wanted to clamp them down, go one-on-one hard, make them kick it long for the turnovers.
Absolutely nothing here for Akers. Calls the kick at the last moment to Doherty, and you can see how well the Giants are set up. And Doherty wants to pull the trigger into the corridor. This is dangerous. It's a big ball. McGovern sensed it, just takes territory along the ground. Walsh has to go hard. You know, Buckley wasn't going to take a backward step. Taylor's in there. Mackay, that's a good win to Motlop, who goes on the outside of the boot. It won't quite work out. Cripps had taken Bedford to the goal square, but Bedford wins that contest. He couldn't quite find Ango.
Yeah, Toby was very happy that ball had gone to ground. So that's the kick. I think if you go one-on-one in defence, you cannot get pulled wide because that opens up the corridor. We've seen it on a few occasions so far. The Giants players are just getting pulled out of that corridor, allowing Carlton to come back in.
He's jumping everything. He's jumping well over the top of Briggs. This time, the Giants win the clearance. Although Green's tackle put Jacob Ware under all sorts of pressure. And a terrific run-down tackle from Lockie Fogarty.
So this is an important kick. You can't look too eager, I think, if you're Fogarty.
You can see there, it's going to be nothing uncontested, so it's going to take a contested marker or free kick, and that's exactly what Charlie Curnow gets. So that's a big win for the Blues. Sam Taylor can't believe it. Charlie be lining up for goal number 3. Sorry, goal 2, missed one earlier.
Yeah. I mean, if you let, and Sam Taylor is an A-grade defender, but if you just give him a little bit of space to run and jump at it, he's so difficult to match up on. You see there, the left arm around is the one that the umpire saw.
Coming up for his 3rd shot at goal. He's kicked 1-1 so far. Kicked the opener from 60. Makes no mistake from 25. And now the Blues are back in front.
What a good game of footy. It is end-to-end. I think sides are taking risks. But this is just great frontal pressure. You can see there Jacob Ware wanted to come back inside, maybe to look for a player to then hand pass the ball to. But this is the connection between the play with the ball in Fogarty, allow the forwards to do the work. Hopefully the smalls can create a block on that occasion. It was young Will White.
Is that a free kick? Hawk, you happy for that to be made? Take away the key forward bias.
Well, I think so, Joey.
Oh,
Only because he gets so hard at the ball. That's what I love. His movement, Charlie's moving around and he gets at the ball. It just creates problems.
Been a highly entertaining first quarter of footy. Darcy Jones having a stint on ball. He's got the speed and he's got the agility to step around McGovern. Good defence from Saad. Got the smother in. And he was pleading for the free kick instead of going after the footy. De Koning, been influential. Bedford trying to stick with Paddy Cripps all game. That's going to be some sort of battle. Cripps just did enough. Walsh. Get a stoppage. Mitch McGovern, pretty good in his first quarter.
Midfielders have to deal with grabbing and arms around the whole day.
Get a stoppage.
Forwards complain about it.
From the stoppage, ball spills to Ollie Hollands. Had a couple little fumbles, puts himself under pressure.
We just saw in the bottom of the screen, McGovern was tackled, arms pinned and head hit the ground. He's still a little bit groggy after he got up after that incident, so I'll keep an eye on him.
And there is Mitch McGovern. He went to hospital a few weeks ago with those internal issues, but didn't miss a game. Played last week against Sydney. And now it's Tom De Koning that looks sore. That's to his feet, Libby Briggs.
I just wonder whether the doctors have seen that incident with McGovern.
Fonzie's kick went short to Whitfield. Not 15, so he gets it back and they'll try and run and gun here. Cutting through the numbers. Carlton's pressure's good. Thomas sensed it, so able to get Boot the ball. Kicks it towards Toby Greene. And maybe Mitch McGovern's still just struggling because he didn't compete. Toby stood under it, and he'll try and go back and kick another one for the Giants. He wants to get it moving quickly. Goes on the left, around the body. He sneaks it home. He's got 2, and he has been dominant in this first quarter for Milestone Man.
He certainly has. Toby Greene, that's his 10th disposal. He's kicked 2-1, 2 inside forward 50. So he's sort of everywhere. I've loved the idea of him starting on the ball and being in and around with the players. We watched Mitch McGovern get that knock that you're talking about, Geordie. But he's just been everywhere. The lack of communication between Doherty and McGovern allows Toby to get an uncontested mark inside forward 50.
Yeah, very surprised that the Dogs haven't ripped him off and had a look. Even from that vision there, you can see he was groggy as I was watching him going back to position. Didn't compete in that contest, so ideally at quarter time he'd get pretty well assessed.
Well, I think even as a player, like you'd know if you've taken a knock or your head's hit the ground, bring yourself off.
Darcy Jones again having influence at centre bounce to Tom Green. Kick wide, hung in the air for Ward. Well done from Cooper Lord. Pressure from Motlop, Doherty, good handball, and the pressure coming the other way.
So I reckon there's been a chance for McGovern to bring himself off. He knows how he's feeling. He knows that his head has hit the ground, and sometimes the doctors, for whatever reason, just haven't seen it. And the ownership can sometimes lie with the player.
Final minute of this entertaining first quarter here at Marvel Stadium. Walsh. Kick towards Mackay, who's going to try and get to that footy. Well done from Buckley.
Yeah, so statistically, it's relatively even across the board. Carlton are +4 inside 50s. Clearances, contested possession. Both sides will be really happy coming into quarter time.
Toby Greene in the quarter. He's had 10 disposals, couple of clearances, 2 goals, 1. Of course, helps set that one up for Jake Riccardi also, having significant influence, the inspirational skipper. Ward attacks it hard, gets it back to Greene. Disposal number 11, and they're a chance here, the Giants, late in the quarter. Whitfield, it has to be a perfect kick for Riccardi, quick heights. And there is young O'Farrell taking his first intercept mark.
Yeah, Riccardi just had to pin it back to the goal square. I think that's where Whitfield wanted to go.
O'Farrell may have just saved the day late in the term. As we said, both teams fast starters. They are good first quarter sides. They've certainly delivered. There he is, Harry O'Farrell, pick 40 in that 2024 draft. Young man from Maribyrnong Park, Quarter Cannons, under 18s. He had his boyhood dream, a Blues fan as a kid. So, what a thrill for the family. So whistle goes for free kick. They might run out of time here, the Blues. Mackay, bring it back.
We know if Harry gets reported over a bowl of cornflakes, he knows what his defence is going to be with Peter.
Yes, father Peter O'Farrell has defended a lot of the Blues players at the tribunal in recent years. There's an entertaining first quarter of footy here at Marvel Stadium. Goal for goal, plenty of lead changes. And the big guns are on display. Quarter time, it's the Giants, 5-2-32. Leading the Blues, 5-1-31.
All right, folks, and welcome in. Good afternoon. Of course, it's game day, Saturday football action here from Marvel Stadium, where it's Carlton 5-1-31, trailing the Giants 5-2-32. Hey, and Panay Vlog, how you going? Shouty, Mark Trottatini. Welcome in, everybody. Good to see you in the live chat. I tell you what, folks, this is a great game to start with. The Blues came out hard kicking the first couple of goals. The Giants stemmed the tide and went goal for goal. The Giants ended up a point in front. I do like the way Toby Greene's been playing, though. He's been making fantastic decisions. All players are pretty clean with the ball today. Not much mucking around, fumbling. Two teams having a good hard crack. Playing good football out here today. Tell you what, we're in for an exciting game for the final 3 quarters of this game. It's tell you what, it's hard to pick a winner. I did like Carlton. I did tip Carlton because it's at the home game. But the Giants looking really good out there as well. So this could come down to it could come down to a kick after the siren. Who knows, folks? I think it's going to be a tight game all the way through, and it's going to be a fantastic game to listen into. Let's just have a little bit of a look at see where these teams are on the ladder, and then I'll have a quick look at the ins and outs. So we got the Giants, the GWS Giants. They're sitting in 9th on the ladder after playing 10, 5-5, 20 points. Got a good percentage, 107.4. And of course, Carlton down there in 11th after playing 10. Of course, round 11 we're up to 4 wins, 6 losses on 16 points. So if Carlton can win this, they'll leapfrog the Giants. If the Giants can win this, they will go into the top 8. They'll go above Essendon and sit 8 if we turn the live ladder on to see where it's sitting. At the moment, that is the positions with the live ladder on. That's where they'll end up if results stay this way. Let's just have a quick look at the ins and outs because we didn't get there. Of course, for Carlton, they got a fair few changes there. Harry O'Farrell coming in with Sam Doherty. Blake Acres coming in. Lockie Fogarty coming in. And Tom De Koning, TDK, back in the side for Carlton today. Going out for the Blue Baggers, Elijah Hollins, Jack Silvani, Mark Pinnoy, Francis 7, Jordan Boyd all going out. The new player is Harry O'Farrell and the sub Jackson Binns. Of course, the debut game is the milestone for Harry O'Farrell today there for the Blues. For the GWS Giants, we've got Lee Kalir coming in with Harry Roston and going out. Finn Callahan and Toby McCullen. The sub is Harry Roston. Of course, the milestone game today is for the ever controversial player Toby Greene, 250th game, but I tell you what, he's playing fantastic football. He's playing a great brand of football so far today. I'm liking the way he's playing, and as we'll see, he's had plenty of the ball. The goal scorers so far in the opening term, we've got Toby Greene, there we go, the milestone man. He's already bobbed up with 2 goals won. Wowee, I tell you what, he could be hard to stop. Callum Brown, he's got 2 also for the Giants. Jake Riccardi, single for Carlton. Charlie Curnow, he's the only multiple goal scorer for the Blues. He's got 2. Oliver Hollands, Lockie Fogarty, and Paddy Cripps with singles, disposal getters. And of course, none other than the milestone man, Toby Greene. He's on 11. As I said, he's looking rather sharp out there. He's looking really good. 11 disposals, 10 kicks, 1 mark, 4 handballs, 2 clearances, 2 goals, 1. You can't ask for a better quarter from him. That's exactly the way you'd love him to start. Sam Doherty, the best for Carlton on 9. We'll just roll on down here. Sam Walsh had a good opening quarter with 8. Adam Sard was 7. Lockie Whitfield there was 6. Tom De Koning there with 6 touches, 10 hit-outs, and a clearance also. Paddy Cripps there, 6 touches. He's kicked a goal. And Charlie Corno, 6 disposals, 5 kicks, 2 goals. Let me just roll down here. We'll head back down to the ground in just a moment. Don't forget to put your vote in. Who you think's going to win this game today, folks? 70% so far on our limited poll. I've gone for Carlton. They are your stats up until quarter time. Let me just roll this back up. But as we see, Toby Greene, I tell you what, he's the man keeping the Giants in this game. He's looking fantastic. All right, that's enough of me from jibber-jabbering on here. Let's head back down to the ground, folks, for the bounce of the ball for the second quarter, where it's the Giants by 1 point.
Well, it all depends on the outcome, doesn't it? So there's the doctor there assessing what has gone wrong. They've been out to him at quarter time and asked him the relevant questions. So he's gone back out to play. So I think that plays a big part in terms of whether there is a suspension or an answer to be made.
He did look a little bit uncomfortable during the huddle at quarter time there. Whether it was his head actually hit the ground or whether it was just more of a whiplash, you can only assume the fact that he is back out there and still competing. So it looks like he's passed the relevant test, but yeah, it's hits that head and comes off. It's a different story. So
it was a long conversation with the Docs, wasn't it? And really, that decision with the Docs could decide whether Darcy Jones plays next week or misses 3 weeks if he got ruled out with concussion or if he continues to play. So he'll be breathing a sigh of relief. But good game of footy that first quarter, Geordie. In particular, Giants' ball movement was a feature.
Oh, it was transition game. So 5 of their goals came from back half. So that would be a really big positive for Kingsley and the coaching staff.
And both teams moving the ball well. It's been tough in the contest. Blues win this centre clearance, although Haynes was knocked off the kick by his good mate Toby Greene, who then gave the don't argue and the handball over the head to set up a shot at goal.
Gee, I'd be surprised at quarter time if there wasn't a conversation around Toby Greene.
And now it's Nick Haynes who's worse for wear. Of course,
there wasn't a free kick paid, was there?
The former Giant, 211 games in 13 seasons. Quite as much fanfare coming into this as there was with Bailey Smith. Tommy, about Nick Haynes playing against his former side?
No, he's full Hollywood, Bailey Smith down in Geelong.
Haynes quietly going about his business, having a great season after a bit of a slow start. He looks to be okay. A kick out towards the big ruckman. Brooks tried to get it out of bounds. Good quiet Akers will get there. There is McGovern. It looks to be okay for now. High ball will bounce inside the line and it'll sit for Taylor, who wanted to get to Greene. Back to Taylor. Good press from the Blues, although Akers missed the tackle with both those shoulders strapped up. Himmelberg will drive it to the top of the square. Cadman hardly been sighted so far. Ball gets to the back. O'Farrell wrapped up by Cal Ward. Strong tackle.
Yeah, Akers was all or nothing. He'd left Himmelberg to apply the pressure to the ball carrier.
Cal Ward was debuting when O'Farrell was born 18 years ago. As Brown couldn't squeeze the handball through and got a boundary throw in.
Scary when you start talking about that sort of stuff, Joey.
Take a look at the Haynes incident again. Same tackler, Darcy Jones. Nothing to worry about from Darcy Jones' perspective, but maybe just a whiplash reaction. Hewitt, what a season he's having. Back to the wingman in Akers. And it's a good purchase on that ball. Lord. Again wrapped up by Cal Ward, game number 326 today. He's getting a ping to the arm, went out for a fend-off. So the free kick will go to the veteran, 47th all-time, the game's record list.
He's been incredible throughout his career. Old cement head. Put him in anywhere.
Still playing an important role on this Giants side. Kick to the pocket. Hogan just worked the Koning under the footy with ease. Strong contested mark.
It was interesting, as the kick went in, you try and reference the big boys. De Koning was the one. I thought, no, the kick hasn't gone to a really dangerous spot, but Jesse Hogan picks it up really early, takes a couple of short steps, and then just uses his forward craft to push De Koning out of the road.
26 goals, 6 for the season. He does that famous technique that only he has. He runs in straight, he runs out and snaps his 27th on the season.
It was great craft by Jesse Hogan, which we've come to know him as a player that has wonderful craft. I'm not so sure that I'd be trying to teach his goal-kicking technique, but it is very efficient for him. But we saw Mitch McGovern put his hands up there. Now, I think Mitch, or at least I think it was Young, needs to get at the footy. So De Koning's taken that frontal space, and he needs his key defenders to come over the top and compete in the contest aerial with Hogan.
It's like the Charlie Curnow one in the first quarter, movement. So when you look down there and you see movement from the forward line, you expect something to happen. And quite often it was Jesse that laid the block initially, and he's the one that gets free.
First goal of the second term goes the way of the Giants. They kick the last of the first quarter. They're now out by 8 points. Ward, in hard, no free kick. Darcy Jones was clever. Knew where O'Halloran was. He goes on the left, again towards the big boys. McGovern in the contest, so's Haynes. And they get it back to Wiedering. With some composure, he looks for De Koning. Briggs lost his footing. De Koning kept it, got it to Lord. And now away to Will White. And they're off and running. Cripps has got time and space to assess his options. He has Hollands inboard. Instead he wants to kick it and drive it towards Young. And the Giants get numbers back.
How do you miss Hollands in that situation?
It's the extra handball. Wow, we've been talking about the kick from Bedford though. Right, go back to Cripps. Well, there's a contest between two tough nuts, Cripps and Ward. Iden sweeps it for Ash. Carlton do well to force him skinny side. Again, Mitch McGovern chops it off. But again, only as far as Iden. High ball, Cadman outnumbered. Just needs to provide a contest and he can't do it. No, Farrell with his second intercept mark. Gets it moving. Ward again, nice kick from Mackay.
Hollands might be able to get news on this occasion, streaming down the middle of the ground.
He's looking for Curnow. That's where he wants to go. That's where all his attention was. And it went through the hands of Curnow, who gets it back and then screws it off a standing start. And it's going to bounce across the face. Good efforts.
Gee, I feel sorry for Ollie Hollands. He's been working up and back. The last two occasions where Carlton have moved the ball, he's been open in the middle of the ground, but has not been used. Gets to the point where you nearly stop running to provide the option if you don't get used.
Lucky Ash in a career best season. Short to O'Halloran, wants it back. Well done from Ollie Hollands.
Well said here, Carlton, in terms of the way that they're defending this part of the ground. You can see all Carlton players' chests facing towards the ball. They're really set.
Second best team in the competition, the Blues, are denying the oppo going from one end to the other. Although this free kick will be paid advantage for Angove. It's an open forward line. Cadman offered the short lead. He wanted to go deeper, but not the right option, and the Blues win it, and now they can counter-attack. Shara White to Mackay. Charlie Curto's working really hard for it up the field, but it opens the corridor. Shara, strong, having to take the mark. It was Whitfield bearing down. And now Sard has some time and space. Hewitt into the pocket. Cripps has pushed forward again. Durden pushed his man under the footy.
That would be a free kick. Oh, it's gone to Cripps.
The umpire has paid a push, but he's paid it the way of Cripps. And we'll go back and line up for goal number 2.
Wow, love to see that again.
See the hands from Bedford on the side and the back of Cripps.
Jared will be happy about that.
Kicked 2 last week, and that loss to Sydney into 27 disposals. Coming up for disposal number 9, and he's second already. Got the Jesse Hogan little stutter steps going, and then aims it and hooked it to the left. Dicko?
Nick Haynes down here, the doctor's just assessing him based on that incident with Jones before. So Carlton certainly got a couple of concerns down here for Mitch McGovern.
That kick from Ash is poor. Missed the mark, Benro throwing. Harry Mackay thought it was going to be a free kick to him. Didn't realise that Ash had stepped out from the square. More of a subdued start to this second quarter after we saw 10 goals kicked in that opening term. Durden trying to break his way through. Good pressure from the Giants and Ash. Harvey Thomas. Ward and now Ash. Here's their running gun. Darcy Jones stepped around Sard easily, and now he's got Cadman in a bit of space. Got the run and jump, couldn't take the mark. Again well done by O'Farrell. The youngster having an impact on debut.
For a lighter frame player, it was a great contest, wasn't it? Because Cadman had the run and jump and the sit. You'd love to see him stick that knee up and drive through.
Having possession today, Aaron Cadman. Callum Ward goes and wins another contested possession. He's the 1000th of his career. Where? High ball. Sitting back with the Blues, Carroll. Lord, a few youngsters all combined. A good clearing kick to Fogarty. He's been good.
Yeah, they've been really patient here. Their uncontested mark game, which they love to do before going to a contest, is just been really patient today.
Kick not his best. Intercept mark by Taylor. He's had Lewis Young for company all game, trying to play that defensive forward role. Leclerc, not 15, so he's put Ash under pressure. Taylor. Good work by the Blues. They turned the ball over, but Giants are there.
He went back looking for numbers, didn't he? Leclerc. Well, I reckon both coaches certainly would have wanted a better defensive effort in this second term. Maybe saturate the stoppages a little bit with a few extra numbers coming up. That's why it's been a little bit more stoppage focused.
Cooper Lord having some real influence. De Koning. Cripps is resting deep. They've changed the matchup. It spills to ground level. The handball will fall to Whites, who snaps around the body.
Well, it's a great contest, floor to the ball. But I love De Koning's spread from the stoppage. So he was the one that ducked out the front, was able to get that advantage and then be able to kick the ball deep inside forward 50. So this is what Cripps offers. When he goes forward, we speak about being able to mark the ball, but the second best option is to bring it to ground and make it really predictable to your small forwards. That's great energy there by Will White. And a big contest by Paddy Cripps.
A strong opening month to his career, Will White.
Yeah.
4 debutants this year. Just petered off the last 3 weeks, just the 1 goal, and had been quiet, but he's been good, lively today. He started well. Now hits the scoreboard and takes a well-earned rest. Scores a level. Been that sort of game so far. De Koning flipped it over their head, but Tom Green was able to read it. Hewitt, hands free. Doherty pushed in the back as he got the handball away, and Walsh happy to go off the ground, but Buckley will lead Mackay to the footy. He's able to shrug through the tackle. Ward's had a bit of ball this quarter. Whitfield. Tom Greene. The forward handball game. Toby Greene back to Tom. Great chase from Blake Acres.
That was unbelievable, Joey.
And then Walsh took the advantage. Thought he ran himself into trouble, but it was a leg, so he'll get the free kick.
That was unbelievable at Blake Acres. They were all away, the Giants. They would have gone deep inside forward 50, potentially scored a goal. Fantastic work.
The pressure game has been a strength this year. As we said, coming into this game, most of Carlton's profile has been in pretty good shape, just except for their ability to score inside 50. Not having any trouble doing that at the moment, as we see again. This time it's Mackay who takes the mark 49 metres out. It'll take his best kick, but he's got it in him.
Yeah, we know he's a thumping kick, Harry Mackay, but it was beautiful forward craft again. We've seen that separation that the forwards have been able to get today, and we've got some quality in front of us here.
Gets the momentum, drills it low and hard, but just pulled it to the right.
But the size of Harry, we often forget about how quick he is off the mark. So his ability to be able to keep his opponent at bay, push off at the right time, and then explode at the ball allows him to get 2 or 3, 4 metres of space to basically take an uncontested mark.
And able to score 10 times from their 22 entries, the Blues. Much improved. And they try and get some repeat entries here as Wiedering able to get that ball out of bounds.
I mean, what would you do with Aaron Cadman?
Yeah, he's clearly not having the impact today. He hasn't touched the ball. He's laid 1 tackle, but I think this is a start. You know, Jacob Wiedering will take you to the footy, so maybe just a bit of a challenge for him to sit on the back of Jacob, be followed to the ball, create a contest, and win when you can.
Kicking that ruck contest against Riccardi. They've been able to go either way for a block. Neither ruckman touched the ball, but Mackay's number that got called out. And now Shearer
Trips in the pocket against Bedford. If you can identify that and isolate that one.
Blues are trying to isolate the space. The kick probably hung in the air, which allowed 4 of the Giants defenders to get the fist in. There's Lewis Young doing the crumbing. Hewitt just composed, finds Shearer, and they'll go again. This time for Ollie Hollins. And that's better ball use going inside 50 with a lot of density. They found the uncontested mark. And Hollins, who's already got 1, will try and kick his second.
Yeah, it was just the change of angle, wasn't it? You're right, the kick just hung in the air for Cripps, allowed the Giants defenders to really close in on that particular contest. But he got a second chance, lowered his eyes. Ollie Hollins was free in the middle of the forward 50.
I mentioned playing that half-forward role today. Only kicked 2 goals in a game once before in his career, and they've now missed 3 in a row this term. So now it's the accuracy that's costing them. 1 goal, 4. Most of those from set shots. So again, Connor Iden, not sure where to go. Blues have got this team defence set up well. Wiedering and McGovern will be in this contest. Cadman will fly. Whitfield in the right spot, looking for his support. That's where he kicks to a contest. Carroll. Fogarty was pushed as he tried to win that crumb. Umpire him by the whistle. Harvey Thomas just tries to knock it forward to the speed of Jones, who had a couple of goes at it, but again, the pressure from Carlton was excellent. Shearer and now Carroll, who's got that beautiful left boot, and they're away and running. The kicking ball from Fogarty was difficult from Motlop, who made it work. And now sees Curnow, who got some separation from Taylor. Couldn't get to him on the full. Stands, delivers, and fires away. A couple of Blues wanted that to the top of the square. And it's now 1 goal, 5 this quarter.
That's probably fair enough. I mean, Charlie's probably one of the best in the competition when it comes to key forwards about being able to do that. But lower the eyes, go to a predictable spot, Geordie, which you've touched on a couple of times, where they've had a huge amount of success. So even the best do get it wrong sometimes.
2 goals, 3 now for Curnow in this game. Buckley has to take his medicine, kick it long to a contest. Cadman again with hands in it. Ango was clever. Sharp little handball for Riccardi. Tom Greene tries to sweep it back to Thomas, and again the Blues have all the answers defensively. Akers, Durden, Mackay wants it running past. Instead, he decides to kick himself. Leclerc with that closing speed. Got the fist in and did it really nicely. And Angove will kick down the line. And they're going to get away with one here, the Giants, because it was Saad for a hole and
They didn't need to do it. They were in a really good position. They had an advantage in that contest. He just panicked, Saad.
You talk about Cadman's development. We've seen in the last couple of minutes actually being able to get to contest, which is really positive.
He's had a bit of ball just this last minute or two. A kick down the line. Haynes got the fist in. Well, Angove met solidly after he bumped it.
Yeah, that was a big hit by McGovern.
Downfield, Angove doesn't realise that it's sideways kick. It's Tom Greene. For disposal number 11, the number 1 disposal winner in the competition at 32 a game. Kick to the top of the square. Cadman again flies. At least he's in these contests. McGovern's kick partially smothered. Angove in game number 3, being busy. And Himmelberg forced out of bounds. So just 1 goal apiece in this second term. And an opportunity here for the Giants. Mackay doing the ruck work. The second ruck's having a go with the number 1 ruck's on the bench. Hewitt somehow got that out. And has to go in again. Darcy Jones been busy. Wants to get it back to Tom Greene. Bedford, can he get one at the other end? Under pressure. Saad will go off the ground. They've done that a number of times, the Blues. And that's as good as you'll get. It's gone about 60 metres. Hollands giving chase was Fonte. It was a good effort. But an even better effort from Hollands. And he had the support in Fogarty. And now Doherty looking for Motlock. Well done from Conrad. Good contest all round.
Good by Saad. Sometimes you just need to clear the area, get it out of the danger zone. As you said, he took 50 to 60 metres, and then it was just a work rate. We've mentioned him a few times, Ollie Hollands. When you watch him live, he just works up and down the ground, provides options, creates a really good contest.
Mackay tried to take possession out of the ruck, didn't take it cleanly. Hewitt and Cripps. Sam Doherty leading the way, 12 disposals for the Blues. Sam Walsh up to 11, George Hewitt 10. Paddy Cripps, 9 goals. 9 disposals, 1 goal, 1. Toby Greene being a bit quieter this quarter, but still leading the way for the Giants. The accidental backhander from Mackay. It still might work. Lord. Another underground kick towards Buckley, and this time it's Lewis Young. Leclerc, bad fumble. Could be costly. Has to try and clean up his mess. That's it, out of bounds.
He got away with one there.
First game of the year. Just a little bit jittery for Leclerc, being sensational in the VFL. Top of the ladder, the Giants in the VFL. He's been a big part of that as the intercept defender.
Just trying to look for an opponent. Too many spares in the Giants' defence.
Cardi tripped as he tried to contest that. Whitfield's hands were sharp for Cal Ward. And now Cadman again.
You're right, he has been better. He's got to front position. He hasn't been pushed under the ball. He does look a little bit better further up the ground, I must say.
Kip will set a task for Angove. Walsh moving well. Carroll pulls the kick. It was a good one again. The speed from Leclerc was brilliant. Saad under pressure now. This is a big ball in the middle of Marvel Stadium. Riccardi, Cadman sweeps the forward handle. Opens the door here for the Giants. Thomas has Greene running shotgun, who's got an open goal square. Will fire from 55. How will it bounce? Not quite. Wiedering saves the day.
Yeah, well done, Jacob Wiedering. Toby had no other option but to have a shot at goal. Great recovery.
And now Wiedering will kick it in. Leclerc now growing in confidence as well. Takes the mark. But his mate down there in the back line in Buckley in the process. So they've achieved almost 7 intercepts a game at VFL level this year. First game of the season. Just send it back where it came from. Himmelberg tried to fly from the side. McGovern's had a good first half. The kick was good to White.
Certainly been harder to move the ball in this quarter for both teams. A bit more congestion through the middle of the ground.
Briggs out-pointed to Koning and then dropped the mark, but had enough time to clean it up. Now a chain of handballs, Whitfield, Fonte looking for Hogan. Wiedering illegally. Dropped the arms over the shoulder. And Hogan will go back and try and kick his second.
And that's what changing the angles does further up the field. So when that play started, when Briggs dropped the mark, Wiedering had really good positioning down the ground, yet they were able to access the corridor, change the angles, which provided Jesse Hogan a lane to lead up in. So a solid kick, 50-55 metre kick.
The umpire's been generous with the man on the mark. He's taken Wiedering back a fair way inside 50, so to mean Hogan will be right on the paint and trying to get that extra distance to the mark by Brown. In the end, a bit too easy. It was good body work.
Yeah, I think there's, again, a bit of a lack of communication from Carlton's key defenders. Haynes was sort of that player that was there to fly as the third man in and just didn't.
We saw him snap one on the right boot in the first quarter. Now he goes on the left, and he's just as good. He's kicked 3.
It's kind of funny when he marked that ball, he walked back, Toby Greene went over to him and he had a little grin on his face, Callum. I think Toby asked for the ball, he said, no, maybe not this one, mate. Gone back and had his great execution from that pocket.
It's been a big win for Adam Kingsley to have Cal Brown kick 3 in the first half.
Well, he came off a career best 3 last week, so again, another one of those players that the Giants have access to that are flexible in terms of positional that they can play.
They're coach killers, aren't they? Those ones, they're deep inside your defensive 50. You look to where the key position defenders are and also the ruckman. They all thought that Jesse was going to cover the distance.
Has got a PB of 5 goals to his name, Callum Brown. He's halfway there. Yeah.
Season best.
Lord, yeah, season best for sure. Inside 50, Young. Luckily in the contest, Hollands, front square. Will White leaves it for Curnow. And then went looking for the high contact in the tackle. Good call by the umpire.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm sure the Carlton fans do, Geordie. It looked as if he lowered the shoulder, but they would get it back anyway. And the Bronx cheers from the Blues fans. Who were certainly engaged in this battle. Talk us through this one.
Oh, he had the ball, then he lowered his body weight when Tom Green was coming in to tackle, so there's your crier.
Just want to see them called consistently, though. It's probably the big one. The kick inside 50. Biden spills to Curnow, who couldn't get the right spin on the ball.
One more time, Joey.
Yeah. Just rushed it fractionally. 6 pings at goal now in this first half for 2 goals 3 in the attempt now.
It seems like they've had a lot of the ball down their end, Carlton, so if you're the Giants, you just need to hang in here and you take great confidence in terms of the second halves.
DeConey. Himmelberg. The Campbell was good for Tom Green.
So this is all about managing the clock for the Giants. You don't need to take too many risks. You certainly need to keep the ball going forward, but just control the ball in your back half. Don't give Carlton a look in.
Here's Sam Taylor. He has some grass, so he takes it. He has a bounce. And he kicks it to Darcy Jones against 3.
It was a poor kick down the line. Probably needed to take the option earlier because they actually had a 3-on-1 on the open side.
And the Blues will try and punch their way through this Giants team defence, but at times can be exposed. Sard, Haynes. Forced wide, so that's better by the Giants, although the kick went towards Motlop. Well done from Iden. Curnow, been so lively. Hollands saw Walsh in a bit of space. White will go on the left and he'll kick to a dangerous spot. DeConing's the biggest one there. Himmelberg got the fist in. It's still live though. Toby Greene was taken around the neck.
He's had a quieter second quarter, Toby, but he's still been hugely influential. Just sitting underneath that. Jacob Wiedering bearing down.
Jesse Hogan wouldn't have appreciated that. The big thighs of Wiedering. Well, it still might work out. Himmelberg's handball for Tom Greene. Riccardi comes at him. Young O'Farrell was just caught ball watching. That's a great bit of chemistry between two players.
You're right, it was just composure, just waiting for something to open up and allowing your forward the time to work over his direct opponent and make the defender question, is he going to go long over the back? No, I'll cover that back space and then ducking back up to create that space for yourself to lead him to.
Pretty solid these 6 games this year, Jake Riccardi, playing second ruck in that forward role. He's been in pretty good form, and that's a nice hit late in the half. Seven goals, 2 on the season now. That's an important one, just to get a little bit of buffer late in the half.
Just see here, D50 to inside 50 transition. So what you want if you're Carlton to get some delay on the football, you see there the run from behind where Himmelberg, and then that creates a little bit of confusion further down the field for the defenders. Do I come up or do I hang back? And in the end, it was Jake Riccardi that had the dominant position, and he was able to choose whether he went up or back, and it was then the forward connection to hit that inside 50 target. So Callum Brown 3, Toby Greene 2, and Jake Riccardi 2. There's been a good even spread.
Final minute and a half of this second term. Chera starting to get really busy. The handball couldn't find Cooper Lord out on that wing. Harvey Thomas has done some really nice things. He gets it again, disposal number 12. He's a beautiful user and finds Whitfield. So they'll look to attack again here. The Giants kick into the pocket. Riccardi, was that illegal? Umpire said yes.
Jeez,
Fans held their breath.
Speaking about the high free kick, you want consistency. I think you could argue that's been paid a mark as well this year.
It's been paid a lot, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's a mark for mine.
So the Blues fans will feel like, oh, that's a solid fall from Bedford. He bounces to his feet pretty quick though. Tough cookie as Hewitt gets it to Cripps. Handball partially smothered. Big final 20 seconds here. Himmelberg couldn't take it cleanly. Sard has Haynes, and they'll momentarily get out of trouble, although they might have the last chance to get one on the counter-attack. Will White has a bit of time and space. He tries to pull the kick. Instead of seeing it, Lewis Young, it was well read by Lecalier. And that'll be it for the first half. And Carlton, who have led 9 times in the first 10 games at half-time, will have to come from behind. And maybe for them, it's just a blessing in disguise, because we know how the second halves have panned out with the lead. It's been a good half of footy. GWS Giants have got their ball movement going from half-back. Carlton had plenty of chances in that second term. It was more about inaccuracy rather than connection, and they trail by 10 points as we get down to Ben Dixon.
Thanks, Joey. Toby, looked like in the first quarter, goals were pretty easy to come by, but it tightened up in the second quarter. What were the instructions at quarter time?
Yeah, we're probably a little bit loose defensively. They kicked a few centre bounce goals and then had a fair few uncontested marks on us. So it was sort of, if you went in, you scored both teams and tightened up a bit there. But yeah, still plenty of work to do.
Coming into this game, what was important? What part of Carlton's game did you need to take away?
Oh, well, their stoppage games, elite, and they got good boys in there. And then in their uncontested mark game, trying to keep the ball in their half. And, we got to shut down uncontested marks, try and play it our half.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Dicko. Sounds like Toby Greene. He absolutely needs a breather. He's sucking in the big ones. It's been frenetic first half of footy, really entertaining. It's the Giants leading the Blues by 10 points after this. Tom Hawkins, Jordan Lewis and Ben Dixon will talk you through the first half.
Well, how's that for an opening half, folks? To tell you what, it's a ring-a-ding-ding game. Carlton in the second term could put on, wait for it, 1 goal 5. 1 goal 5. Carlton, you've got to get your kick and boot on. Kick and boot on, put you in front. The Giants, they put on 3 goals 2. But it's the Giants 8-4-52, leading the Blue Baggers 6-6-42. Leading by 10 points here at half-time. As I said, it could be a blessing in disguise for Carlton to be actually trailing at half-time. We know when Carlton, well, they're leading at half time, how they can fade and not do much in the second half. So this could be a blessing for them to make them chase a little bit harder. Instead of protecting, they've got to go for it, Carlton. Tell you what, a fantastic game, though. I tell you what, both teams pretty clean with the ball. I'm liking this game so far. It's really, really good. Matt Spencer, how you going? He said hi in the live chat. Adrian Sports Channel popped on in. Will's Bills up. How you doing? Game board. Shouty to Game board. Welcome into the chat. Appreciate that. But what a fantastic game. Still anyone's game. You know what? Let's just head over to the stats. Let's go and have a look at the AFL fantasy points. If you play that game, of course, Toby Greene's going to be leading the way. He's been fantastic out on the ground today. 69 points. Sam Doherty on 60. The rest under if you play the AFL fantasy game. Let's have a look at the goal scorers. See what's happening now. Callum Brown, fantastic. He's playing really good as well up forward. To tell you what, he's a great target up there for the Giants. Got some good mitts on him, taking some nice clean marks. He tops the table with 3 goals. Jake Riccardi with 2. And of course, Toby Greene with 2 for the Giants. Jesse Hogan. Well, I'll tell you what, he's got an interesting form, hasn't he, folks? When he stutters on in to take his kick and then lengthen stride. He's got 1, of course, for the Blue Baggers. Charlie Curnow, he has 2. Willie White, Oliver Hollins, Lockie Fogarty, and Patrick Cripps has 1. The commentators will be back in just a moment with a little bit of analysis on the opening half. Let's have a look at the disposal getters out on the ground. Toby Greene, still doing his job there, going really well. I think he had a little bit quieter second term with just a 5. He's up to 16, 12 kicks, 4 handballs, 4 marks, a tackle, 2 clearances, 2 goals, 1. As I said, Toby Greene. This is the best I've seen Toby play this season in the opening half. So he's in for a big game. Tom Green, he's going well too for the Giants on 15, 6 and 9, 2 clearances. Sam Doherty, tops the table there for the Blues. He's had 15 touches, 10 kicks, 5 handballs with a clearance. Lockie Whitfield, Sam Walsh, 13. Harvey Thomas, Harry Himmelberg on 12. Let's roll down there. Adam Saad there getting plenty of run. I'll tell you what, the Giants are doing well, keeping Carlton coming wide on the wing, going into Carlton's forward 50, but the Giants, they're liking going through the corridor, taking the ball wide and then ducking back through the corridor, which, puts a little bit of speed onto the game and can cause Carlton to be caught napping at occasions. Charlie Curnow, he's had a good opening half, 11 touches, 8 kicks, 3 handballs, 2 goals through. Probably a couple of times he could have laid off, but skew if the ball through the behinds. 2 goals, 3. Want to be a little bit straighter. Paddy Cripps up to 11. There we go. Let's roll on down a little bit more. Commentators are back in just a second. Callum Ward, he's on 7 with Xavier O'Halloran for the Giants. We go. Who else have we got? Jake Riccardi, as I said, 6 touches, 3 kicks. He's kicked 2 goals there. Jesse Hogan, well, he's been a little bit quiet in the opening term. Plenty of other players helping him out down forward. 6 kicks, 6 disposals, 3 goals, 3 handballs just for the 1 goal for Jesse Hogan. All right, there are your player stats. We'll have a look at the team stats in just a moment. But we'll head back down to the commentators. They'll give us a little bit of analysis on the opening half.
Them down the line and force them back into congestion. And then when you get your opportunity, you're hoping that everyone has set up to be able to utilise that space that the opposition haven't. So they've gone 7 goals, 2 from back half, 3 goals in a half from D50. That would be pleasing for the coaching staff of the Giants.
And you can see, Tomahawk, the forwards getting that space. So on transition, their eyes are lighting up.
Yeah, and they clearly picked a side ahead of the ball that can move and that's athletic, that can get forward, because from that stoppage, they start up the ground on that ball open side that then work forward. So it's an incredible work rate for those that work their way forward to get on the end of the chain.
And Louis, Carlton's transition, you mentioned Ollie Hollins, he didn't get used, and just their poor entries at times, and we discussed that before the game.
Oh, I feel sorry for him, Dicko, on occasions. Like, he could not have been more open. So you just track him here in the middle of the ground. This is their role, not to collapse over where the congestion contention is. So keeps his lane, holds his width. Right now, Paddy Cripps just has to see that. The crowd wasn't loud. He would have been screaming out for the ball. We've spoken about their issues going inside forward 50. That is usually a goal if you know where to go, where to look, and who to use. And then this was a re-entry. So I love this about Adam Cherry. He went deep to the left pocket beforehand. That's where the congestion was. Then it came back out. Then it was the ability to change the angles and find a mark inside forward 50. So they're still leaving a few out there, Carlton.
There's no doubt. And Paddy Cripps, interesting matchup, Hawk. He's got Toby Bedford. And no doubt when you're a forward, the midfielders come down to get in your space, you tell them where to go. But they're actually letting Cripper go down there and try and exploit him, and took a great mark in the first quarter.
Yeah, and what a matchup. Sometimes we forget how big this guy is and the presence that he has. So he's 195. He's a key position sized player that's playing on a tagging midfield that's we'll call Toby 180. So absolutely you'd be looking to try and exploit that, and they did on this occasion. But it's nice for him to actually be able to go down there and have an impact. It also pushes Charlie and Harry up as well. So a great luxury for Michael Voss to have.
And Louis has actually found it difficult in transition. Bedford, he's gone with Cripper thinking he's going to spit forward and then gone back the other way. So there's plenty to think about as a tag.
Yeah, I mean, he's been looked after. I think Paddy Cripps, he's not known for his aerobic capacity. So at times Bedford has been able to work off. Yet it's the other Carlton players who have taken account for him. So that's the challenge as a tagger. You've got to make, when do I get off? When do I use my strength? In Toby Bedford's case, it is the open spaces. But you know if that ball turns over where Paddy Cripps will be.
Yeah, that's right.
I think Paddy Cripps will take him deep again in this second half. So can he get more bang in terms of that particular matchup deep forward?
Hawk, speaking of forward, Hawk, let's have a look at the Blues and their forward 50 craft.
Yeah, look, I've been really interested in the way that they position themselves. So we see their high half forwards up on the 50-metre arc, which creates a huge cavity of space for Young and Charlie Curnow to work into. Now, this one results in Lockie Fogarty getting forward and taking the uncontested mark inside forward 50. So I really love what I've seen from them. It's a real selfless brand of forward 50 football. So the space that they're creating with their high half forwards up and their deep targets coming back also makes it a really uncomfortable decision for Sam Taylor, who loves to press at the game and impact the contest. It gives him a little bit to think about. Does he want to stay back on Charlie Curnow's right shoulder, or does he want to go up and try and impact the game? So it's helped with their efficiency moving the ball inside forward 50. Yes, they've missed Hollands a couple of times, but it's clearly something that they're trying to address.
Yeah, I agree with that too. The selfless side, that's when their forward line functions best. It is the Giants by 10 points at the main change. Following this match, the Hawks take on the reigning premiers, the Brisbane Lions, at the NCG. We'll take a look at that game next.
All right, folks, I'll be back in just a minute. Hey, let's duck over. While we are here, let's duck over and have a little bit of a look at the team stats up until half-time. Have a look at the team disposals. Team stats, here we go. It's Carlton +9 disposal count overall, +16 kicks. Giants getting some nice link-up handball going there, +7 that way. Inside 50s, both teams getting plenty of opportunity. 30 inside 50s for the Blues, 12 scoring shots. Of course, for the Giants, being reasonably efficient there, 26 inside 50s for 12, 8 goals coming from that. We have a look at the disposal efficiency. The Giants really clean, really efficient in that aspect. 78%. Carlton doing pretty good as well. 73%. Good to see both teams going well. It looks like that. Looks like they're both teams hitting their targets pretty well. As I said, both teams are reasonably clean with the ball. There are probably just a couple of indecisions going on there, but so far it's a pretty good game held by both teams. Efficiency inside 50. Carlton smack on their team season average. Giants about the same at 50%. Free kicks 11-10. A few free kicks being given today, but nothing sort of out of the ordinary. Nothing really resulting in a goal on either team doing any damage on the score. So that's always good when the free kicks are given for what they are meant for, and not those ticky-touch ones in front of goal. Hit-outs, well, it's all pretty level between these two sides. Both teams got great midfields, good good ruckman. 16 apiece, clearances 19 to 18, Carlton by 1. Centre clearances, it's the Giants by 1, 7 to 6, stoppage clearances +2 to Carlton. So both teams are doing really well around the stoppages and clearances. Possessions contested, Blues by 9, uncontested, +1 to Carlton. Turnovers, low turnover game here, 28 to 30, both teams under their season average, which is fantastic. As you know, playing at Marvel Stadium under the roof, there's no real there's no real reason for turnovers, for weather, etc. No wind in there, no breeze in there. The roof is closed, Marvel Stadium. So all weather conditions are fantastic in there at the moment. Of course, I was just going to have a little bit of a sneak peek. Of course, 17 degrees here in Melbourne, folks, 17 degrees. It's a beautiful day out there today. Sun shining. Have a look at the marks. Carlton +10. Marks inside 50. Great to see both teams getting some marks inside 50 opportunities. 6 apiece. So that's good. Getting shots on goal. Finding their targets. It's always good to see marks inside 50. It means the mids running through the corridor. They're lowering the odds. They're composing their mindset, and they're looking for their leading targets. And the forwards are creating a little bit of space there, which is working well. To hit their targets down there. Contested marks 3 to 5. Giants +2 in that department. The tackle count's pretty low there today, though, isn't it, for Carlton? They need to just lift that pressure up a little bit more. Just need to intensify that pressure. Giants got on top for a part of that second term there. Carlton well under their season average of 67.5. On their tackle count, I'd like to see Carlton put a bit more pressure on the Giants, get that turnover, and head on forward. 32 there for the Giants, not too bad, just over season average. Tackles inside 50, 4 to 7. Carlton need to put a little bit more pressure inside 50. A little bit hard with players like Curnow, etc. They find it a little bit hard to do the second and third efforts, but that's all right. All right, let's get back down to the commentators. We've still got 5 minutes to go before the second half. That'll give us a little bit more of a wrap-up.
As they go at all costs, offense. Hawthorn will try and take the angle, so we're going to get a pretty high-scoring affair.
Absolutely. I mean, you've got to be careful with ball in hand against the Brisbane Lions, because they are set up to punish you on turnovers. So, what do we see out of the back half? They've been a bit shaky out of the back half, the Hawthorn Football Club. So can they get that part of their game going and allow them to transition the ball?
Are you looking forward to the midfield battle more than anything? I know we can talk about the four lines and the potency, but through that middle is pretty special.
Well, it's nice that Connor Nash has come back to add some size and strength throughout that midfield. So maybe he goes to a Lockie Neal, then an Ashcroft pops up, so then he might go across to an Ashcroft, but he just had some experience and some strength in and around that contest.
Well, that game does follow this one here at Marvel Stadium. The Giants by 10 points. Plenty more to play out in this second half on your Super Saturday.
All right, folks, we'll be back in just a moment with the bounce of the ball for the second half, where it's the Giants by 10 points.
of course, was Adelaide. Their most disappointing performance of the season, but they are well and truly in this contest. The Giants have found their run and gun game, as the boys have told us at half-time. But Tom Hawkins, we love looking at the key forwards. Both teams have got some superstars down there. How have you seen the Mackay-Curnow combination in the first half?
Yes, Joey, I love watching the big boys ahead of the football, and I think as a key forward, the biggest challenge you've got is to find ways to stay in the game. And if you look at Charlie and Hogan, but in particular as those full forward, sort of centre-half forward when they get up and roam, but they're always in the game. They're in contests. Charlie's had the 11, Hogan's had the 6 possessions, each kick goals, whereas Cadman, we started to see in the second part of the second quarter there his involvement in the game. He gets to contest, and that's just when things aren't going your way. It's just the perfect way to insert yourself into the game. You get your hands on the ball, you get a bit of confidence, and for a player at his age and stage in his career, that's really important. So it's a fascinating duel. There's lots of matchups that we're looking at, lots of players trying to hand over, so interesting at both ends of the ground, Joey.
And there is an interesting move. Mitch McGovern has gone to full forward, so we'll keep an eye on that one. Yeah, both key forwards for the sides are getting good looks because of the ball movement of both teams being free-flowing. And there is that matchup. So Mitch McGovern will start in the goal square. It'll be the usual suspects on ball for both sides. Cripps, Chera and Walsh for the Blues. Toby Greene in game 250 has been outstanding alongside Bedford and O'Halloran. Third quarter underway, and it's Toby Greene continuing on the form of the first half. Gets a good spiral on that one. It'll go deep. Riccardi could have taken possession, trying to tap it into the path of a teammate. Ollie Hollins will win the ball. Kick this one wide. Looking for Fogarty, and it goes out of bounds. So a few positional changes for some teams.
The magnets have been thrown around, Joey. So you'd expect McGovern to probably play the deepest, and Charlie or Harry to play a little bit higher to isolate Leakalier.
Looks as if Whitfield's come up as a half forward. Ollie Holland's gone back to half back. So both coaches swinging it. Mackay can take the mark. Fogarty, Cripps burst away to Mackay. He wanted to give it back to Cripps, but he didn't see that there were 3 Giants all around him. So they might muck this one up, and GWS will win possession. Conor Iden straight away looks inboard and finds Whitfield. To Ash. Now he's got a bit of time and space. We know he loves to tuck it under the arm, and he wants to test Chera, and he'll drive it in as far as he can. It'll get to the back. Who's going to read it first? Toby Greene was there, but again, Akers saves the day. And it's still live. And the Blues get out of jail. Well done, Akers. Walsh, his high ball, not going to clear, and Callum Ward will sit under it and go back and have a shot for goal.
He's had a couple of really big, important defensive efforts, Blake Akers. There's just good pressure on Toby Greene, who's had a huge influence on this game so far. Ward coming up for his 8th disposal. First shot on goal.
Very accurate as a set shot for goal. 5 goals won this season. Looking for it to tail back right. It won't. Stays across the face.
That's the challenge. So you speak about McGovern down one end and just trying to provide an option in the air. Maybe you do leave yourself a little bit skinny down the other end with Hogan, Riccardi. This might be Cadman's opportunity to get off.
Saad, looks like it was a set play for Cripps down the middle. And that matchup with Bedford, it works. Yeah, so good play.
As much as they possibly can in open play, they need to isolate that particular matchup.
Cripps wants to get it moving. McGovern comes out of the goal square. Giants get numbers back. McGovern does well to get a contest. Giants try and use their numbers. Ware sweeps it wide for Ward. Handball's going to set Whitfield a task, but he's good enough. And Jones has got the wheels, but he doesn't need them because Riccardi's in space. Hogan's working really hard into the pocket. That's where the kick goes. And there's the transition again from GWS. Hogan's thinking about squaring it up. Carlton close off those options, and he's still looking. And I think now his teammates have said to him, "You're our spearhead, you're the common medalist, go back and have a shot." They'll have to go on the left boot. Just the one so far today. Steers it home. As casual as you like. Giants get the opening goal of the second half.
It looked like Tommy trying to kick on his left. He looked uncomfortable.
He did. He looked like he wanted to pass it off, and I think all good key forwards need to have that sort of trait to know that you look like you want to pass it off and have the shot at goal. But he's gone back, and it's only just made the distance from about 20 metres out. But we looked at some vision about the Giants' transition at half-time, Geordie, and I mentioned the work rate of the forwards that are at the head of it. Now, Jesse Hogan epitomises this as a key forward. We've got one at the other end in Charlie Curnow, but the work rate of the man to be able to sustain that sort of speed for that period of time and then mark the footy, go back, compose yourself and kick the goals, excellent.
Back in the middle, Chera, an excellent first half, taken out in a tackle.
There's 4 goals now from D50 in nearly a half of football, so their transition, once they get out into open spaces, they're really stretching Carlton.
In their losses this year, it's been taken away from them, the Giants, but they've certainly found that counter-attack today. Strong tackle from Cooper Lord, who's been very good again, a young man.
Spoke with Toby Greene at half-time. He just said the clearance game, we've got to shut that down. You can see they build a pretty good perimeter around this stoppage. The Giants just setting up for that post-clearance stoppage.
Cripps. Bedford couldn't quite hit him down. Connor Ryan wants to use his legs to drive through. Whitfield, as we said, staying at half forward, coming up around the stoppages. The handball to O'Halloran, put him under pressure. Sark in the arm, holding the ball.
Yeah, so this is where the Giants really need to get back because the Carlton midfielders haven't spread. So if you look inside the forward 50, Cripps is all by himself if they can move the ball quick enough to get there.
Had his hand up for a long time. Cripps inside 50, Sark couldn't get it to him. Forced to go lateral.
But it's an opportunity. If the Giants can win contest and clearance, they will get them on the spread.
Mackay wants it in the pocket. Kick didn't quite favour him. It was good body work from Buckley.
Even if, I mean, that kick needs to go, for me, direct line with goals. So then the forwards can get to work on roving 360 degrees around that particular contest. You take great safety knowing that the boundary line is there from a Giants point of view and the kick isn't as dangerous.
De Koning stays there to kick behind place, and Mackay will go up against Briggs, who wins the heat, and then follows up. Thomas having one of his best games of the season. Copped a bit of friendly fire maybe from there. Doherty looks inboard, goes with the outside of the boots, and kicks a special goal. He doesn't kick too many anymore. Just his second of the season, but that was Sabuti. And they needed that one, the Blues.
Will certainly make the highlight reel. As we see there, it looked like head-on-head collision, and he just ducked out the back. It was Lockie Whitfield that got sucked into the contest. So they're the decisions you need to make. Do I go in? Can I impact? Or do I stay out with my direct opponent? It's always a challenge when you let an opposition player inside their own forward 50 get goal side.
You can just see there also Harvey Thomas just got one to the head. So the doctors here on the boundary line are reviewing that incident, and the physio's just giving him the all clear out on the field.
He takes his place on the wing, Harvey Thomas. It was Walsh that fired the handball to Doherty. Get it back to 11 points. De Koning, that spring all day. Looks like the freshen up, not playing last week with that throat injury. He's standing the world of good. Haynes, good purchase. Luckily, he's done that a number of times. Over the top with a big fist. Keeps it live, and Akers and Thomas see it roll out of bounds. Jackson Binns and Harry Rouston, the subs for both teams, still neither activated.
Toby Greene comes up as a half forward. Sarda's gone into the stoppage with him, so they don't want him to be spare like he was in the first quarter.
Carlton starting to win the clearance battle. De Koning again. Akers. Now it's a one-on-one Mackay. Taylor gets across. Ground ball. Held without it was George Hewitt's taken high. Another opportunity here for Carlton, although it's a slow play. The Giants are well positioned. Mackay Tries to attack the footy again. It's a good battle between he and Buckley. And once again, Buckley halves it.
I think they take the first option every time. Like sometimes that's not the right kick. The forward, who in this case Mackay, can lead out, draw two to him, and then someone else pops up. I just think a little bit more composure around the forward 50. And don't always take the first option that you see.
This time it's Cripps that wants to have a go in the ruck. He likes doing this every now and then. Doherty. This ball's not really going anywhere.
Yeah, but they are getting sucked into the contest, the Giants. If you look, when that ball is in the contest, the Carlton players are hanging out, so they may get another opportunity here if the Giants don't have good balance.
Cripps again. Chera does it well. McGovern with sharp hands, and then just a bit of footy now to throw it on the boot. Didn't quite get enough on it.
You just touched on it, Joey. So Cripper goes into the ruck in the forward 50, and then TDK just drops behind the ball as a spare, just if there's a quick transition from the Giants. So nice play.
Yeah, they certainly look a lot safer in that setup.
And from the kick in, Ash gets the 1-2. All of a sudden, the ball's forward of centre towards Riccardi. Carlton have the numbers. Sard use the speed and coming board. Hewitt to Koenig. Sard. All right, there's one man that's quick. It's Jones, but he was good enough to break the tackle. Take a bounce. This is what Blues fans want to see. And then the composure to find a mark. Inside 50 to Will White. Well done, Sard.
I don't think they wanted to see that. I think they wanted to see the big left foot go towards goal. I mean, in the end, it was a nice, composed, clever decision, but the run through the middle of the ground, it's the bit that broke this play open.
So young Will White kicked a goal in the first half. As we mentioned a few times, he's been lively. He wheels out to get the extra distance and then hits the post halfway up. Another set shot opportunity gone begging for the Blues. Continue to pepper away, back to 9 points. Ash this time forced to take a bounce. He's about to get almost out towards the 35-metre area, and the kick was found. Riccardi. He's kicked 2. Blues set up well here, so the Giants will just play with a bit of composure. Ash wants to drill a ball for Buckley. McGovern read it well. He was all over it. Couldn't quite take it cleanly. It still might work out, although he has a fumble. And then Buckley went to ground. And
it's a bit nonchalant by Jack Buckley through the middle part of the ground, waiting for the ball that's brought in low and hard. It was a dangerous kick, but beautifully read by McGovern to come forward and impact.
Fonte, a little spin move. Sharp hands from Harvey Thomas to O'Halloran. Cadman with that length. Couldn't quite bring it down, Haynes. And now Young. Short to Chera. Aggressive kicking ball. They were bearing down the Giants. Green got the hand in. Now it might open the door on the counter-attack. Brown. Fonte. Brown wants it back. Carroll came off his man. Jones is there. Well done from Doherty. He was composed and did well enough to get it to the debutant for his team. Ash. For his team. Ash. Cadman in a one-on-one. Holding though, free kick to Haynes.
Yeah, it looked like they were both holding.
Yeah, I'm just not sure that one was there. I thought it was a beautiful piece of body work by the young Cadman.
Lord's kick. Jumper pull. Fogarty. That's another dangerous kick for Hewitt. Giants have numbers. Chera tried to have the strength. He did in the end. Did well. Got it to Motlock. We can give the handball in board, but he wants to go himself. Probably should have given the handball to Carroll. And now it's a turnover. And this is where the Giants have been able to punish all game off half-back. Whitfield. Hogan. Uncharacteristic fumble.
So I think we're already seeing, we heard Michael Voss after last week's game speak about moments. I think we're already seeing a little bit of panic. You know, those kicks inside that are high risk, they don't need to happen just yet. You can save those for the fourth term, or if something obvious pops up, you can attack the corridor. we are getting closer to the end of the game. It's out who's composed more and creates better and makes better decisions will create more opportunities.
Here's Walsh. Much up ahead, so Gavin has to make a contest. He did well.
So when the heat's in the game like this, if Carlton can get their hands on the ball, you'd love to see them get back to that early part of the first half, in the first quarter, where they're playing that uncontested mark game.
Big watch on this second half. Giants, you know, will run out the game strong. Been a strength of theirs for a number of years now. Chera, O'Halloran used to go in and rip it away, and then he's got a little gift to Himmelberg. His handball went over the head of Toby Greene. Haynes had a little fumble. Blues do well. Chera again, been instrumental. Doherty's had a stack of footy. Hewitt can give it over the top. Buckley was coming. He got it away just in time. Doherty, here's a chance for the Blues. McGovern has a player in the pocket all on his own. He doesn't seem. Instead, he goes towards Curnow. It'll work out anyway. They just got through the Blues. And Curnow will go back and line up for number 3.
It nearly became a similar story that we've seen too often, didn't it? Was it Durden in the pocket?
Yeah, it was. It was Durden. I was actually sitting behind that when McGovern got the ball. I don't blame him. When Charlie put his arms up, he's like an A380 plane. That's all I can see as well.
The big airbus.
So you've got to kick it to him.
Curnow has been dangerous without ripping this one apart yet. He's now got 3. And he's got his team back within 3 points. He's looming large, isn't he, Tommy?
He certainly is, and he's got a presence, Charlie, we know that, and that was a beautiful contested mark, and much needed one, because had the ball not safely found the hands of Charlie Curnow, the Giants have been so damaging from that part of the ground. You couldn't help but feel that they get to the ball to the ground, they have the outnumber, they go out the open side and go down the other end and score. So a crucial mark.
It shows how important it is to be really strong in the contest. So you look further up the field, as soon as you break that layer of defence, then you've got options forward of the ball. As we mentioned, it was Durden in the pocket that was open, but he is hard to miss, Charlie, when he's in full flight. Arms are up, he does take your attention. And that's the risk that Buckley takes. You come forward, you don't impact, the overlap appears.
And Curnow does love playing under the roof at Marvel. That's now 38 goals in his last 11 games here. Toby Greene got the free kick. Tom Green took the advantage. It was a great kick too for Jones. Whitfield running hard. He's ignored. Inboard to Himmelberg, who's got the leg in him, except he tries to pull it for Hogan. Got over the back. Puts the hand up. Just missed time the run and jump to Jesse. He's kicked 2 straight.
Yeah, good separation, didn't he? And Jacob Wiedering.
Toby Green's kicked 2. Riccardi, Hogan have also got 2. Callum Brown, the leading goal scorer, with 3.
It's a shallow throw.
Hollins was careful not to give away the free kick. Charlie Curnow, the only multiple goal scorer for the Blues. 3 goals, 3. And another one that went across the face out of bounds. There's a clear push against Riccardi in the ruck.
It's a second free kick he's given away in the ruck. Oh no. It was a hold in the first quarter down the other end. And you blamed him, but it wasn't him.
Yeah, I did apologise to Riccardi. Briggs and De Koning having a spell on the bench. Cripps, strong hands. Disposal number 17. Walsh, disposal number 19.
I'd like to change that matchup over. Put Tom Green, go head-to-head with Paddy Cripps, because they are exposing Toby Bedford in the open spaces and targeting that particular matchup. So whether you go one-on-one with Tom Green and let Toby run.
Walsh went short to Akers. They didn't have much on. He spilt the mark. And Cal Ward just steamrolled over the top of Walsh. Green under pressure. It was a bit of a nothing kick. The handball from the Kai made Carroll have to wait. Thomas, Whitfield. Here's a chance for the Giants. Off turnover. Cal Ward from 48. Steers it home. The veteran gets the goal. Great pressure from the Giants. One of the few goals they've got from forward half turnovers in the game.
Well, they had Jesse Motlop, Carlton, sitting ahead of the ball as their key position player. So Cripps, who took the contested mark at half-back, decided not to go forward with the footy, but ultimately couldn't. They provided the pressure, the turnover, and the age-old question for a midfield running inside forward 50, do they hit their full forward common medalist leading out from the goal square? Or do they go at themselves? And Callum Ward's a classy finisher from a set shot, Joey, as you mentioned, but that was a really important finish for him and his team on the run.
So you never get a great indication from the Carlton fans whether it's gone through for a goal or a behind. They do not move.
GWS back out by 9. Briggs didn't clear the area. Akers off the wing foot. He's over without it.
Oh, he's hurt his shoulder there, Bedford.
He's definitely down and sore. And they stopped play. They haven't stopped play right around him. Now they will.
Yeah, I think that's
probably
the right call.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. He's clearly in distress. He went to tackle.
I just think they can add a rule. If they stop play, you probably should come off.
Yep.
He's certainly holding that right shoulder.
Not sure if he's much used the way he's grimacing there.
Collarbone. He's going to
Big stinging in the right shoulder and the AC joint.
But the umpires have made the right decision. I think that is 100%. You've got an injured player in that area where the ball is. It's whether they come off or not.
Will White couldn't quite get it over the top of Ash. They might have been away if it had have. Instead, it's the Giants leadering. There's been too much experience. That worked Cadman.
He's got to play back shoulder. I think Tommy's right. Play back shoulder and Wiedering. If that ends up being you in the goal square on the back shoulder of Jacob Wiedering, that is a position that Aaron Cadman should be in. He cannot play in front of Jacob Wiedering at the moment. He's just getting worked underneath the ball.
He's got second intercept position though, Wiedering. Isn't it a huge influence? Haynes and Youngo Farrell leading the way with 9. Cripps again. Too big for Bedford. Now a chance for White. It's going to be Fogarty, top of the square. Wasn't able to take the mark. I would have loved it to have been one of their key forwards. Ward had some influence in this corner. Ash ran his full measure, but was under the pump when he kicked it. And Lewis Young, who's gone back in this corner, takes the nice grab.
Well, he's got no options in the middle of the ground. He's certainly looking. He's going to have to go back down to congestion where Kieran Briggs is.
McGovern and Buckley in that contest. They're outnumbered there, the Blues.
They've done incredibly well, the Giants. So Carlton last 2 transitions have tried to switch that ball, get in the middle of the ground. They've just denied them. So half the contest on both occasions now.
It's Coach Adam Kingsley having a chat to his star midfielder, Tom Greene. Harvey Thomas. Really good today. One of his best games, as we mentioned earlier. Walsh just tries to fire it out into space. It still might work out. Lord to Chera, to Haynes. Screws it around the body only as far as Whitfield, his former teammate and good friend. And now they're away through Fonte. Good kick for Jones. Angove worked really hard to provide an option. Wants to stepping board on Chera. It was the right play. Thomas couldn't take the mark. Has time to mop it up. Gets the ball to O'Halloran. Cadman wants his left. Sees Hogan in space and hovers, but he was still good enough. Wiedering just missed getting the fist in, and Hogan will line up for number 3.
Just the ability to be clean. Harvey Thomas, they're just in congestion. They were clean, 4 possessions, get them out. He's Hogan a shot on goal.
Curno's kick 3 at one end. Hogan for 3 of his own. The customary approach. And just gets it there. And that is a big goal late in the turn. Back out to 15 points.
So Tommy, it's quite obvious the way that both teams want the numbers through the middle of the ground that can't make up the ground to be able to put on defensive pressure and then once they get centre forward, their options just opened up. So this is about exposing the Carlton side on spreading and using that overlap run. It's good signs for the Giants.
Yeah, it is. Great signs. And they're playing well and getting the reward in front of goal.
And now move to equal second in the Coleman medal. There's the leaderboard. So game high was 17 points. It's out to 15. It's an important final 5 minutes of this quarter. Chera. No man's the mark, so not really take advantage. He just sort of three-quarter kicks it towards the pocket. McGovern. He's shown a bit in this quarter as a forward. We know he's played a lot there in the past and held up from Fonte.
Yeah, he just seems to do the basics well. Competes, knows when to go at the ball, and when he goes at it, goes hard.
Greene, just off the bench, wins the clearance. Haynes in the box seat. Strong arc.
Yeah, so this is where they'll try and change the angles. Here you can just see the Giants already set up defensively. So just need to be patient here, Carlton. Don't be afraid to go back, to go around.
Keeps it safe, does Hollands. And that's been a bit of an issue.
Yeah, it's just it's a bit too desperate. Like, I know that kick is not a dangerous kick, but you can kick it back to Wiedering to try and draw the GWS numbers out to give you space to work inside your forward 50, particularly on repeat entries when there's a lot of density.
Riccardi flies. O'Halloran stayed down. Again, the sharp ground ball from Jones was brilliant into the path of Van Gogh, who didn't quite have the strength to break the Nakoni tackle. And Doherty hugs the boundary line. Umpire, he was right there. Put the hands behind the back. He said nothing to see. And the kick, the Giants, was picked off by Taylor.
The Giants doctor might even have just mentioned that, Joey, as the umpire went past.
Just a little bit hawk right next to me. Might have been me bashing on that one. Good news though, Toby Bedford's come off the ground, had that right shoulder assessed and been given the all clear.
There's Jacob Ware. At every game this season. And the footer. Kick towards the wing. Wiedering again just ran under it. Again, clever little play from Thomas. Himmelberg run down from Akers. So he's done that a number of times today.
His defensive tape will be stacked. So I don't mind this. Don't be desperate to go forward really quickly. You've got to work out how you draw out congestion and density.
And this will test their mettle. The crowd are getting a bit antsy. You can hear it in the stadium. They can't get frustrated. They're going to stick to their plan. Again, the crowd giving advice to Walsh. So again, no one on the mark. Runs, kicks it into the pocket. Buckley has been good this quarter. And another boundary throw inside 50. 12 entries to 8 in favour of Carlton in this third quarter. And kicked 2-2. The Giants 3 goals, 1. Giants led by 1 at quarter time, 10 at half time. It's 15 at the moment. You can feel the tension in the stadium with the Blues fans.
Well, that's the mental battle, isn't it? Carlton understanding they haven't been able to finish off games, yet they sit behind on the scoreboard with a quarter to go.
Coney tries to punch it forward. Iden read it. Ward under pressure from another veteran in Doherty. It might lead to a goal. White tried to squeeze the kick. Taylor was there. Buckley wanted to get it through. Carlton stay off him, so he had Ware in support. Now this is a big ball. Haynes and Engo got on Haynes. The number 1 interceptor in the competition over the last 6 weeks. Can he find a mark inside 50? He's just going to kick it to a big pack of players. Cribs almost got hands to it.
So you just see there him talking to De Koning, so he'll take the ruck. So this is just the communication where you need to stay on.
He backs himself in this situation, Cribs. That's why he might make something happen. He got the handball out. The snap on goal. Hit the post again from Fogarty. Cripps almost made it happen.
And there's split-second decisions. He tells De Koning to go. He'll take the ruck, trying to create a little bit of confusion with the Giants in their defensive 50. The Giants just need to manage the clock. A minute and a half. They don't need to take any risks. Try and find that uncontested mark.
Ware's held up, so he'll kick down the line. Giants have the numbers. Hogan in the end just trying to get the fist in on Wiedering. Lord's handball was too sharp for De Koning. Wiedering. Carroll casually goes to the one-on-one between Curnow and Taylor. What a battle. Akers comes and supports. White been lively. Can he find Motlop, who couldn't take the mark, but he gets the free kick anyway. And this, you feel, is a big moment in the game.
But it was really good composure by White. We've seen a few Carlton players blaze away when they get centre forward. It's just great composure for a young kid. You see there the free kick in the end from the drop mark from Motlop.
So Jesse Motlop has kicked just one goal in his last 4 weeks. Only been averaging the 6 disposals. Only had 4 today. But this is a big moment for the young man, for momentum going into three-quarter time. He steps out, snaps truly. Well done, young man. Gets the late goal that gives the Blues some real momentum and spark going into the fourth quarter. They're back within 8 points.
We've seen both coaches happy to throw the magnets around, and we're still seeing that even late in the third here with Jesse Motlop starting basically as a full forward, pushing or allowing, I should say, Charlie Curnow to be up the ground. So it was a beautiful finish in the end, and a goal celebration that we've seen from Jesse before, something that Motlops have always been very good at, finishing in front of goal and celebrating.
That would feel good for Jesse Motlop.
It's huge, that goal. That is huge in terms of momentum into three-quarter time. The Giants were in control on the outer wing. It was a great one-on-one win to go back and score in the last minute. It is huge for confidence.
Late whistle to recall it, so 3 seconds come off the clock.
Plus 20 for the quarter in contested possession, Carlton.
Plus 5 clearance. And in there, plus 7 inside 50s. But 3 goals apiece. One last chance for either side if they can win a clean centre possession. It might be Toby Greene. Doherty, strong tackle. Did enough. Angove, the real clever handball. O'Halloran will go to the top of the square. This one could hurt the Blues. Riccardi kicks his third. And all the momentum the Blues may have had have just been taken away from the youngsters in the midfield for the Giants. And at three-quarter time, GWS break the hearts of the Blues. They lead by 14 points. They're 12-5-77. Carlton 9-9-63. Big fourth quarter still to come.
What? All right, folks. Where is that last? Oh my gosh, I can't get on that last goal scorer. Where is it? Anyway, who was that last goal scorer for the Giants? There was Jake Riccardi. It's just not popping up on the screen there, but there it is, Jake Riccardi. Let me just roll that up. There it is. There it is. E.T., how you going, Squire? Welcome in. Of course, Life for Life, how you going? Triple B's in the house. Good stuff, I tell you what. Carlton kicking that goal with, about 10 seconds to go. And, of course, 8 seconds to go. The ball went back into the centre square. The Giants got it out fast and crushed the momentum of Carlton. But still a good third term there for the Blues. 3 goals, 3 they put on in that third term. 4 goals, 1. The Giants, the Blues would have won that quarter had the Giants not got that final goal. But we're in for a cracking final term. Only 14 points the difference here at Marvel Stadium. It's still anyone's game. Whew, I tell you what, it's hard to call. What do we got in the poll? We've got 64% saying Carlton's going to win this game. Good luck to all those who tipped Carlton. Good luck to those people with the Giants. Let's have a look at the live ladder at the moment. The live ladder has the Giants in the top 8. 108.5%. Carlton down there on 11th. Well, that could change if the Carlton Blue Baggers get up and win. That's just a live ladder. Let's go over and check out the goal scorers so far, see what's changed since we had a few goals scored in that third term. Jake Riccardi with that late goal. He tops the table with Jesse Hogan with 3 goals for the Giants. Callum Brown with 3. Well, 3 for 3 for the Giants. Toby Greene with a couple and Callum Ward with 1. Not too many goal scorers there for the Giants, but they're kicking multiples. For the Blue Baggers, Charlie Curnow still with 3 goals, 3. Still doing all right. I'll tell you what, some of their options, Carlton going inside 50, although Charlie got that the last goal of his, it was probably the wrong option going inside forward 50. Carlton had a player well and truly out in his own, just in the pocket, but they elected to go to Charlie Curnow. 3-on-1. Luckily for the Blues, he took that mark, snared the goal. Willie White with 1, Jesse Motlop, Oliver Hollins, Fogarty and Doherty and Paddy Cripps still with 1. Let's have a look who's winning the ball. The ball magnets out there. Well, Lockie Whitfield's shot up to the top of the table for the Giants on 22. Sam Walsh for the Blues on 22 as well. Toby Greene, there we go, after a cracking opening quarter of 11. He's only had 9 in the final in the next 2 quarters. There we go. Sam Doherty, Doherty up to 20 with Paddy Cripps. Paddy Cripps is having a pretty good game out there for the Blues. I like the way he's had 6 clearances. Lockie Ash up to 20 as well. There we go. Let's just roll on down. Tom Green there for the Giants on 18. Adam Kehrer on 17 for the Blues. Harry Mackay on 15. No goals there for Harry Mackay so far. 15 disposals, 7 kicks, 8 handballs, 3 clearances. Just the one behind for him. Callum Ward doing his role out there today for the Giants with 13 touches. He's kicked 1 goal, 1. Mitch McGovern working hard there for the Blues with 13 also. Charlie Curnow, as I said, 12 disposals, 9 kicks, 3 goals, 3. Let's just roll on down. We're going to get back down to the commentators. Jesse Hogan, well, he hasn't really been their big spearhead today, but he's got 3 goals off his 5 kicks, so he's kicking accurate. Give him the ball, and he generally does do that, doesn't he? Generally does kick accurate for the team. Let me slide this back up. Infinity Galaxy X, how you going? He said hi. You scroll that back up, get that back onto the main scoreboard. Welcome in, welcome in. Hey, don't forget to vote, folks. Who's going to win this game? We've got the poll. Carlton 64%, GWS Giants 36%. We've still got a quarter to go. Giants looking pretty good, though. If they can continue this form, they might run out victors. But Carlton, I tell you what, let's see if we can, see a little bit of fighting the dog here in the Blue Baggers. And let's see if they can do what they don't normally do, and that's put up a big last quarter. I tell you what, I'm you know what? I'm wanting Carlton to win. I'm wanting Carlton to win because if the Giants get on a roll later in the season, they can be a tough team to beat. So I'm going for the Blue Baggers. Hopefully, you just never know. Hey, don't forget, after this game, folks, after this game's finished, we got a huge match coming up at in about an hour and a half's time. Hawthorn versus Brisbane Lions at the MCG. That is going to be an absolute cracking game. Wow, it's going to be a lot of fans there. A fascinating game. That's a game where if Brisbane wins, they'll go on top of the ladder at least for a couple of hours because Collingwood will be playing after them. Hawthorn needing that victory as well. That's going to be a cracking game, the next one. But this game we've got on hand here, folks. It's the Giants 12-5. Kicking nice and straight. That's what you got to do. 77. Leading the Blue Baggers 9-9-63. It's the Giants by 14. Let's get back down to the action, and they'll take us into the bounce of the ball for the final quarter. Good luck to both teams. Let's see if the Blues can make a run at the Giants and pull it home.
Influential in what this game means to him and the impact that he's had on his club. So, fascinating watch.
Huge fourth quarter to get underway to kick off Super Saturday. Straight after this, we'll head to the MCG, Hawthorn and Brisbane. Another game here at Marvel, unusual doubleheader. First, we've got to get through this fourth quarter. Cherry again, centre clearance. Doherty, they'd love one early. Mackay had hands to it. Buckley with the late fist. Motlop. Doherty again. Already kicked one sensational goal. Gives it off to Cooper Lord. He might kick his own. And that'll get the Blues fans back on their feet. Terrific finish from the young man. Playing one of the best games of his career, Cooper Lord. And they get it back to a manageable 8 points.
You can see Harry Mackay there, just in that contest outside 50, just his left ankle, he's limping on that. Looks like they've also activated their sub, Carlton, so Blake Acres has been subbed out of the game and Binns comes in.
Well, if he didn't kick the goal, he may have been paid a free kick after it. But that is tough when you know someone's bearing down, closing space in front of you to still be able to execute. And that's what it's about, bringing joy when someone makes a really good decision and execution like that.
He's been a great find and he's having a terrific game, as is this man, Toby Greene. Kick wide for Cal Ward. Here's Tom Green. Doherty couldn't stick the tackle, but at least force Green wide and on his left, and that suits the Carlton defenders. Harry Rouston still the sub for GWS, his first game since round 13, 2023, when he comes on. He'd have some impact. Jackson Binns will be trying to do the same. Hewitt, good clearance win. Cripps wanted to give the fend off and drop the footy, so that'll be holding the ball. Yep. 6 clearances for Paddy Cripps to go with his 20 disposals, 1 goal, 1. Ash. Clemson skinny side, and Cal Ward found himself in a bit of space.
Harry Himmelberg's free out this wing.
Ball to go. He can jump and fly for it. Can't get the numbers. That was Lord. Hogan on hands and knees. That was Binns, in fact, who's now on the sub in defence. He might get it here. Out of bounds.
Just on that Harry Himmelberg roll, the wing, you mentioned it, Joey, last 3 weeks, bit of experiment from the Giants, but very similar to the Ollie Dempsey. They want him to get down forward, take those grabs, help with transition.
Blues left to defend here. Toby Greene screws it around the body and another poster.
He got good purchase. Did Toby.
2 goals, 2 now, 22 disposals and a game high, 10 score involvements, 6 clearances. He's been in everything. He's trying to will his team over the line.
Well, 1-on-1 again, Joey. Just look for the Cripps and Bedford, who's in the middle of the ground. That's where he's hooked it back to.
Kerno's also in this contest. Briggs, almost fresh air, the fist. Fonte, got some speed, pulls the kicking board. Nice for Tom Green. Fonte wants it back. It's not needed because Thomas got some separation. And he's clever with ball in hands, Harvey Thomas.
Might get it back here again, Green, just providing an option in the corner. No, I like the composure. You can still find one late if it pops up, but go yourself. If you back yourself in.
You'd have to have a bounce to make this.
And yeah, still looking. He's looking, and he might look late. Or he might just prove you wrong, Dicko. He's going to run out. And no, he proves you right. Get that ball will bounce in the goal square. In some ways more dangerous. Kept it live and we'll have a ball up.
Played on, kick the knuckleball.
So some tense moments. Oh, out of the ruck. Kieran Briggs. Didn't know he had that in the kit bag. What a way to kick your first goal of the season. He just threw the left boot out at it. And he flushed it.
Go to our resident ruckman.
What did he? Well, I've always wanted to do that. I got in trouble a few times when I was playing. But absolutely, he's flush. He's big and he's strong and he's created the space and kept decoding, which is not an easy thing to do. Almost looks a little bit tired and fatigued there, but that was beautiful purchase.
and we don't often associate ruckman with having a high level of skill. So,
Or IQ.
you're absolutely right. But celebrate when you can, and that was a beautiful finish.
Yeah, that's important. If there was a list of 10 things, that might not have made the top 10. The things that Kieran Briggs could have done.
Top 100.
20.
Coming into this game, the big ruckman with a bit of magic. And again, gets the lead back out to 15 points. There is his bread and butter, winning the hit out for Bedford, who took on the tackle, holding the ball. Now Carlton need to lose their composure. Cripps just ran and banged it forward. Ground ball, Leclerc, they see it out, and that's the passage of play that maybe they don't need to get into, and they just try and rush and boot it in there.
Yep, it's a senior player. Captain of the footy club, Paddy Cripps. Just cool your jets. Cool your jets, just wait for options to open up. Don't panic.
Still plenty of time in this game. Mackay this time. Tried to lay it into the path of Durden. Couldn't quite get the handle. The umpire accidentally got in the way, but Young was still able to get the handball and the deflection.
I think the other thing, like, yes, it's Paddy Cripps panicking, but everyone else that sees that play, especially the young kids, you feed off the composure of your captain or decisions that get made in terms of rushing yourself. The young players look at that and feed off it. Weren't too happy with the umpire getting in the road.
That's a push from Briggs. It was illegal. And now De Koning. Let's see how they work through this one. Again, De Koning just wants the wheel and kick it in. Says, good luck. Someone take a hanger. Motlop flew. Iden. Quick kick. Jones in front. Good tackle from Hollins. Ward. Got it to Briggs, who wants to give it to the runner. And it's the right runner in Jones. Toby Greene ran really hard to get out the back. Cadman's working hard. So's Bedford. Look at the speed of the Giants running forward. That is brilliance. That is the running. You asked Adam Kingsley pre-game about Bedford, who just took off and has taken a diving mark inside 50.
Tom can't believe someone can run that fast.
And Callum Brown at 188 centimetres was just in front of him. I reckon he was running quicker than Bedford. That was unbelievable to watch.
And now Bedford, who's had his hands full all day, trying to take care of Paddy Cripps, the Brownlow medalist. Another massive moment. This will be the biggest lead of the game if he can pull this off. He can't. And Doherty makes sure he kills it. And Nisard again.
You can just see the Giants going one-on-one.
No real movement. Cripps was manned up by Tom Greene this time, so had to go short to Cooper Lord. Probably his best game as a Blue. Doherty looked inboard, then wasn't sure what he wanted to do. So now it's an up and under. Farrell did enough to Carroll, who gives the handball to Walsh. Lord broke the tackle, did well, the youngster. Now needs to find an option. He sees Mackay long lead. Got to him on the bounce, but it bounced over his head. Cripps, can he keep it in? He tried, he does. Keeps it live, and Tom Greene was more than happy to take the tackle. And the Blues have it where they want it.
Isn't it funny, just the importance to be able to ride out a tackle. Cooper Lord's a young player coming through, but that ball doesn't go inside forward 50 if he doesn't break that tackle.
Briggs almost threw that down. It was a long palm from the kick. Haynes. We'll go to Doherty. How do the Blues work through this situation? Slow ball, 2 kicks from home.
So there's no movement ahead of the footy here.
Let's see what's in front of him. Again, just a big kick to a contest and another boundary throw in.
They'd love to see those key position forwards, Mackay and Kerner, who we've touched and lauded for their movement inside forward 50. We're just not seeing that much of it, which then affects, you talk about leaders, Geordie, it affects those players that are playing around them.
Can they make something happen from a forward 50 stoppage? Mackay tried. O'Halloran threw it on the boot. Carlton set up well. Saad.
Go to the taunt. This has got taunt written all over it.
The taunt. Sticko solution for everything. Koenig, not 15.
Well, that's not 15
Doherty,
either.
not 15. This is the better option. It was low. Will they pay the mark? Lord might have got the hands underneath it. Umpire said it was a bump ball.
Gee, he just wasn't in a good
contentious.
position, the umpire.
Love another look at that.
Yeah, it was close. There's no doubt about that. But Cooper Lord certainly thought he marked this ball.
Make your own decision. Oh, it's just dragged along the grass. Give the umpire credit. Shearer tries to squeeze one through, couldn't get the shape. And they continue to press, but they don't really continue to even the margin. 15 points, still plenty of time.
Yeah, so when they get a chance again, Carlton, so we talk about lowering our eyes, trying to be less predictable to the opposition, as we see here the replay, a line ball call from the umpire. So what you don't want to see is when Carlton get a chance is to go long. Keep going long, make it predictable for the Giants defenders.
Ash sees a mismatch out on the far side. It was Amir on right. Not much the young man could do.
You've still got to keep playing though, the Giants. 13 and a half minutes on the clock. You've got to keep taking ground.
So the stat there, Giants have lost 5 of their last 6 at Marvel, which is surprising considering how they play. You'd think they'd love playing under the roof. That one loss though was to Carlton. Shearer wins possession back for O'Farrell. That's another risky ball in the corridor. Chopped off by Angove, who's been excellent in game number 3. The switch for Himmelberg. The run again from behind of Whitfield. You can see him working hard to provide an option. Instead he goes long to Cadman, who gets hit across the face from Wiedering. That'll be a free kick. And you feel another big moment in this contest for the young man.
We just speak about moments in the game. I mean, to read where the ball is going, anticipate where the ball is going, and Angove was that player in the middle of the ground. Clear high free kick from Jacob Wiedering. He hasn't had a huge day, Aaron Cadman, but this is an important piece of play.
At times this season has just been a little bit shaky with the set shot. But this time, he steals himself, and the Giants are out to the biggest lead of the game.
And you can see what it means to them travelling on the road. They understand that their young key forward hasn't been that reliable, probably in front of goals, I should say, and hasn't taken the moments. But it's amazing what that sort of goal can do for a young player, young key forward that hasn't quite had the opportunities, what that can do leading forward.
As we see here on the Bunnings Warehouse build-up, I just love the decision. When those decisions, if they don't cut it off in terms of Angove in the middle of the ground, you can nearly bet your bottom dollar that is an inside 50 to Carlton, and he's a young player making a really calculated decision. It's a 2-goal turnaround to turn the ball over centre forward.
The Blues got one last response in them.
We're running on top of the ground here, the Giants.
They look terrific, although that keeps its green. Ball kissed. That'll be thrown in, right call, you'd feel.
So it's up to the midfielders now from Carlton. Can they get some movement in and around stoppage? It's equal numbers in there. Can they lay some blocks? Harry Mackay's a ruckman against Riccardi. Can you get those longer hits outside the congestion?
Mackay's handball as far as Tom Green.
De Koning and Cripps are on the bench at the moment.
Toby Greene comes up as a half forward. The second rucks to battle. Mackay squeezes one out. Fogarty had to create, did really well. In fact, he was brilliant. Lord got it to Chera. This is big. Can he steer it home? What a clearance goal by the Blues. And take a bow for a couple of the youngsters. Chera with the finish. He's been excellent again today. And they get it back to 15.
So that's what we're talking about. So Mackay tried it the first time and didn't get his hands on the ball. So the second time he gets his hands on the ball, and all it is a little surge kick, a little 20, 25 metre surge kick to allow the midfields and the halfbacks and the high half forwards that have come up onto congestion, a little bit of space to move into. It's a great spread from the contest by Adam Chera. A really important goal, classy finish.
Takes a break. It's great composure from Binns and Lord just to find the handball options that kept the play rolling. Cripps has had his spell. Mackay really trying to lift his team in the ruck. Gets good purchase. It's a loose ball. Whites, he tried to leave it from McGovern. It still might work out. He's got it to Fogarty for 2 in 30 seconds. Oh, just when the crowd started to think, not again, they come to life. And they are back within 9. And they have the momentum.
They certainly do, Joe, and led by one of their leaders in the centre bounce, Harry Mackay, just physically inserting himself on the game. And you mentioned that little kick before, Geordie, where he just got the ball going forward. Again, a similar sort of thing, just use his aggressive, his big presence in the CB scenario. And then was able to kick it forward, created a contest and brought the Smalls into it. So they're well and truly back in this. It brings life to supporters, it brings life to their team.
Fogarty's been terrific. He helped set up the last goal with a big ground ball win. Will White was involved. Energy back in the stadium. Mackay having an impact. Bedford though wins this clearance. O'Halloran drives it in deep. You have to defend here, the Blues. It gets to the back. Wiedering has to keep his goal. Oh, in the end he tackled and it spills to Cadman, who's got 2 of his own in the last 5 minutes. Just something out of nothing. It was Jesse Hogan with the rundown tackle. Wiedering just hasn't quite looked himself today. And that one hurts. And a real momentum killer.
Well, speed on the ball out of the centre bounce, so you can't get yourself set. I love the recovery from Aaron Cadman. Yes, he flew for the ball, got a hand on it. But then it's your ability to get to the next contest and make an impact. Really good shape out of the centre bounce to get the ball nice and deep. Do you see there, Lewis Young v Cadman? Great forward pressure by Jesse. Causes the spill. It's a great response.
Centre bounce is crucial now. Still Mackay. Walsh. Got the hands free. Sweeps it wide. Everyone has to commit. It's the youngster Angove that just wanted it more.
It's been impressive.
It's spilt to Bedford. This is another big ball. Well done from Carroll. He continues to show more than enough.
You see the 2 big number 1 ruckmen still on the bench, so they'll have a good solid 10 minutes to finish off the game.
They want to go to Cripps, who tried to isolate Bedford, but Buckley was there. Hewitt got the fist to it. Doherty, that's an excellent handball in board. Cripps was looking forward and he missed the man. And Bedford got him this time and gets a point back.
Yeah, a couple of really good tackles. One on Hewitt that didn't go, that went unrewarded, and then to bounce back and tackle Paddy Cripps.
He's not giving up on the task. Bedford has been beaten at times. Angove again. That handball chopped off though by Carroll. They have the numbers through the corridor. Need to think their way through it. Ward, he certainly does, although just in the shoelaces of Curnow, who just wants an opportunity. Cripps, chop off Ash, and this could spell danger for the Blues. Green barking instructions before he even took possession. Angove, under pressure, turns it over. Collins went to ground when he didn't need to. Haynes, under pressure, you can feel the tension mounting. Wiedering had to pull the kick. Carroll had to sit under it. No free kick. Could have got one. Green, Riccardi, O'Halloran. This is big. Jones has to commit. He didn't take possession. He tapped it to Hogan. How smart was that from Darcy Jones? And Hogan finishes. And just like that, the 2 goals the Blues peg back, they've given straight back. And it's 21 points again.
The footy is so hot down here at ground level. There's just perceived pressure. Blokes just jamming it on their boot. Unforced errors. It's hot as down here at the moment.
That's just clever. He takes that ball. Wiedering tackles. It's probably a stoppage. The 50-50 ball turns into a goal for the Giants. Lucky not to give away a free kick in the middle of the ground by Toby Greene, I thought.
And now 4 goals for Jesse Hogan. You can see now outright second.
The Giants only have, I think, one at the wrong end. Callum Brown.
Giants look like they're about to activate their sub-roust, and he's on the boundary line now, just warming up.
De Koning's had a long spell.
He might try and slap this forward if he gets any purchase on it.
He's going to play a pivotal role in these final 9.5 minutes. They throw Motlop into the centre bounce. They both get involved, although O'Halloran right there. Good role as the defensive sweeper.
Yeah, so I think if you're the Giants midfield, you need to be careful of the big long hits from De Koning. The momentum that will be in favour of Carlton.
Cripps, another clearance. Hollands, I thought may have tried to do a bit too much. De Koning, his handball chopped off. Giants have got their fuller run again. Cadman had a big final turn. Darcy Jones wants it long. Hogan now pointing. No one mans the mark. So Cadman just kicks it up in the air and says, go in that to his superstar forward. Wiedering got the fist in. Hollands. Sard. They have to think their way through this. Got to take some risks as well. Although that's not going to help. The handball from Cherry was too sharp. Brown kicks it to the top of the square. Only Blues are there. Harvey Thomas thought he might have come through, but the mark's been paid. They're going to have to go the full length of the field though, Carlton.
Yeah, they need numbers from behind the ball to work in front and either equalise or provide options. They're out on their feet, Joey. This Carlton Football Club.
They're going to need 4 goals in 8 minutes. It's going to be an ask.
Got to take a few risks too. They haven't really owned any corridor space today, so they've got to fight their way through, get some corridor access, hit the angles, get some speed into that forward line.
Look at that pressure factor in the bottom right-hand corner. Full credit to GWS. They have upped the ante when they've been challenged in this last term. Ash, little fumble. Bedford. How's the umpire see there? He dived on it. So it'll be Cripps again with another clearance win. Giants are well set behind the ball, so that's a better option. Open side for Benz. That's not the best kick. Straight to Whitfield. Fonte has Jones in a ton of space. He doesn't need to do anything reckless. He'll just allow his defence to set up and take a bit of time off the clock. Time is now going to be a factor here for Carlton.
Also just allows your numbers to catch up. We spoke about Carlton not being able to do that before, but now they look equal ahead of the ball, the Giants.
Oh, Ash kicks it into man on the mark. That might create an opportunity, although Haynes just didn't have much left in the tank to create anything. Turnover, Brown into the pocket. Toby. He tells everybody in the stadium to settle down. I've got this under control. He will take the full 30 seconds. There's still 17 left on the shot clock. And wouldn't it be fitting that Toby Greene in game 250, who started with a brilliant first term, could really put the dagger into the heart of the Blues. And it is fitting that he would be best on ground in a milestone game. And there is one of his best mates in the crowd, who's pretty happy with what he's seeing, Tommy.
The kick around the corner specialist, Jeremy Cameron, certainly enjoyed that. I know these two, wouldn't they be dangerous in the peak of their powers in the same forward line? I know they would be out on the town too. So one of his great mates and great supporters of Toby's come along and watched him do his thing, and he certainly has today. Just even to be able to take the time, I know we talked about it, but when you're in the moment, the game's been up and back and it's hot, you're fatigued, that's not that easy to do, just to take your breath, go back, take the moment, and kick a goal.
Giants have made a tactical sub. Rouston is coming into the game using the forward line, and Angove is out.
Whitfield without it. Not Lockhart without it. That was Toby Greene's 396th career goal. He's chasing down Jess's record of 427 for the most goals at the Giants. I feel he'll get that at some stage this year. And Taylor wins the battle.
Dicko reckons he's on track for 40 and 8 after quarter time, so he did the projections.
I was tracking.
And once again, you can just feel the energy sapped out of the venue. Blues fans feel the sense of inevitability here.
It's been a huge game by the Giants. You think about who they've got out, the depleted midfield, and their ability to stand up in big moments. And I think a lot of the credit certainly goes to the more experienced players, but I think the younger players have been exceptional as well.
O'Halloran has had a big role, spending more time in the middle today. Oh, Toby may have one left in him. It's party time now for the Giants, if Toby can put this one through.
I didn't even think about passing.
I saw pre-game, he's got some of his past teammates, Adam Tomlinson, Sam Reid. I think we saw Tommy Sheridan up there sitting near Jeremy Cameron. For the icing on the cake. For a fleeting moment, he thought about giving it off and then shakes it wide. 25 disposals, 13 score involvements, 6 clearances, and 3 goals 3. He'd been slightly down in recent weeks. When they needed him the most, he has absolutely delivered. Holland's kicked down the line, Mackay's outnumbered. And then for the Blues, they have the bye, as you mentioned. Hawke, they get to lick their wounds, see if they get a few players back. And then the next month after that, a very winnable Essendon at the MCG, West Coast at Optus, North Melbourne at the MCG, and then Port Adelaide at Adelaide Oval. So not all is lost for Carlton. And it's going to be awfully difficult, though, to make the 8 from where they are, but certainly not impossible. The Giants will go back to NG Stadium next week to play Richmond. After losing 4 of their last 5.
They get settled, don't they? I mean, they've been displaced in the first half of the season. It happens every year when they can't get access to their ground.
Yeah, then play at Manuka the week after that, and then have another game at NG after the Gabba. So 3 of the next 4 essentially at home. Whitfield almost threw that out. Yeah, the umpire saw that. Walsh hasn't stopped trying. Disposal 26. Looking for Curnow. It really loomed, particularly in that first half, of ripping this game apart, but Taylor's won the battle in the second half. Wiedering, as we said, just hasn't had his usual impact. A few rare mistakes from that man that's so reliable. O'Farrell's done more than enough on debut. And the kick from Hollands has been chopped off again.
That role with Wiedering, it's been a really selfless role from the forwards, from the Giants. They've just tried to take him away from the ball the whole day. So he's been the witch's hat, put him on the wing, put him anywhere else but where the ball is.
So this will be only the second time this year Carlton have conceded more than 83 points. Adelaide was the other game earlier in the year. And this one, they've just had no answers for the Giants' ball movement. And they look to try and attack again from halfback. Ward. Here's the sub, Rouston. Great kick. Nice moment for Harry Rouston. He's been in scintillating form in the VFL, so gets his opportunity late. O'Halloran, one of his better games for the club. Squeezed a little kick looking for Tom Green. And Chera will just kick it straight back to where the defenders are all queuing up now.
And you mentioned it, Joey. So Carlton have played in some low-scoring games this year, and we're almost nearly going to tick over 30 goals combined here. So it's been a free-flowing game.
And it's been the opposite for the Giants. When they've played in low-scoring arm wrestles, they have struggled this year when teams have been able to take away their ball movement. But if it's been allowed to flow and there've been shootouts, the Giants have come out on top almost every time. Coney just taking a risk now. There's really nothing to lose. Doherty, one of the best for Carlton, coming up for disposal 29, which is a game high. He kicked that wonderful goal earlier in the game, the check side on the run. There's Binns, who started as sub for Carlton, goes towards Mackay. Ball spills to the back. The big fella just couldn't get down. Lecalier, okay, yeah, solid in his first game of the season.
Yeah, he has been. He's well supported by Buckley and Taylor with such great experience. But he's been solid. He's got at the ball. He's made some big spoils, big contests. I think they'd be really happy seeing him have an impact today.
So Himmelberg to continue to play up on the wing, who's had some impact in this game. Cripps surrounded by Giants. Motlop tried to squeeze it out. McGovern, who has moved forward in the second half, had some nice moments, and then not enough. There's Tom Greene. Goes wide to Toby Greene, who's cashing in late. Retreats to Ash. And the fresh legs of Rouston sees him find some space again. They will tick inside the final minute here.
They look spent, the Giants. I think it's been a really eye-catching performance live. Their ability to cover ground, use the open side, really work for one another. And thus putting on 17 goals, but it's been the overall work rate to allow that to happen has been impressive.
GWS will jump back into the top 8 with their 6th win of the season. The Bombers were in there momentarily after their win last night.
Where's Toby?
That's what I was thinking.
They look for him.
He's slowly making his way over Dicko. He's about 35 out on an angle.
He's in the sweet spot here.
If we can just get, I think it's Kieran Briggs to drag his opponent out.
Yeah, more than happy to hear the siren sounds.
Oh, he could have hit the lead up.
Kieran's not moving.
That'll do it.
Geordie.
And the GWS Giants, they do dig deep. They do it for that man, the greatest Giant of all time in his milestone game. But more importantly, they get their season back on track.
Yeah, they do, Joey. And I mean, pre-game, thinking about how the game will unfold, and you know, Giants certainly with the names that were missing, this was going to be a huge task. A Carlton Football Club, backs against the wall, who needed to come here and perform against the Giants. But the tone was set early, I thought Toby Greene's first quarter really set the tone for the game. He's a big game player, that's never been in question. And certainly in his 250s, he will be able to celebrate accordingly as we head down to Ben Dixon.
Well, I interviewed him at halftime. He couldn't breathe, and now he can't breathe. That was an exhausting watch. Toby, what a game. It broken open in that third quarter, but that was pretty tough for you guys, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very even until probably the last 15 minutes, and able to get a little bit of ascendancy, but yeah, that was just a good win on the road after we were really disappointed with last week, so great response.
Let's talk about the transition game. 9 goals from your defensive half, but in the last quarter, the forwards rolled the sleeves up, so 4 goals from your forward half, you got it done.
Yeah, and that's what wins you, big games and gets you into finals. So we know that's our work on, and when you do it well, it's you're hard to play against.
Let's talk about your 250. It's a great milestone. You've been in the game a long time, and this club's been through so much. Tell us about the week. Was it an exhausting week for you?
Yeah, a little bit. Just like, geez, I was sick of seeing myself on Instagram. So, it was good. But the best thing about it was all the people that reached out, people you meet along the way. It's the best thing about footy. When you're there for a while, you meet them from all around, and it's just awesome to hear from all them.
And you're a family man now. I had to walk her out with the banner and your wife. Like, what a special moment when she's old enough to be able to watch that back. It's It's fantastic to have, isn't it?
It is. That was the only thing I was really looking forward to about the day, getting to run out with her. So that was awesome, and we'll see how she's going now. See how she's gone. But no, it was awesome and good fun when you win like that.
You mentioned the rooms. You had Hurdy, Craig Lambert, Sheeds, and they handed you. I'm hoping it was a Grange 1970. I'm not sure. It might have been Port. What was it?
Actually didn't open it, hopefully, or something from '93. It was awesome and great to hear from them, and it mean a lot to me in my life.
Mate, you've had a super career. There's plenty more in the Toby Greene story. Well done today, and just finally, I'm going to get Briggsy over here. What about that goal? You got any commentary on that? What he did out of the ruck, Toby?
Sharp, wasn't he? He's missed about 10 this year, so he's due, and it was awesome. He had a great game against one of the best rucks in the comp.
You're going to enjoy it, mate. Well done. 250. Briggsy, how are you, buddy? Now, I want to talk us through. At what point did you know that you're going to just kick that one out of the air?
Oh, we do a lot of soccer tennis at the club, so I've had a bit of practice, but I don't know, just saw it sitting up in the air there, so I thought I'd have a strike.
There was a nice celebration after as well, I like it. But your battle through the middle, enthralling to watch, really. TDK, he's a hard one to play against. Tell us about that.
Yeah, he's been sort of the benchmark this year, along with Jerry and Gorney, so he's really set himself for this game. I mean, he's a superstar. He's getting thrown heaps of cash, and it's understandable why. I love coming up against him, similar age. I'm sure there's going to be plenty more battles for years to come.
You got a lot of teammates, Toby. I mentioned to Adam Kingsley before the game, he said he's just special, and 250 games. Look forward to celebrating with him.
Yeah, definitely. He's a player you love walking out next to. He definitely makes you walk taller. The things he does is special, and you never ceases to amaze.
Oh, mate, that was a super win here at Marvel, and you're back on the winners list. Well done.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Kieran Briggs there with Ben Dixon. The GWS Giants now, as we said, jumping back into the top 8. They go to 6-5, percentage of almost 110. More importantly, they get the win away from home. They've lost 4 of their past 5. They hadn't had a good record at Marvel Stadium, but led by that man, Geordie. They were back to their best today. That is the Giants. I think a lot of us pictured coming into the season that's how they would play, and they certainly delivered.
Yeah, I thought they were hard. And first and foremost, I think the thing that would please Adam Kingsley is the hard, contested style of football that they played. And then I think once they took their chances to get on the outside and to use their strengths, when you talk about their running power, they bat deep in that particular part of the game. Yes, there's players missing who have the size and strength. But I thought Toby Bedford did okay on Paddy Cripps. Paddy Cripps still ends up with 25 foreign score involvements, but Toby was able to get on the outside on a few occasions. So, I don't know, there's something about teams when they come on the road, they're missing a few players against a Carlton side that needed to win. These types of victories, I think, can be a really good camaraderie to the back half of the season.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And then the other thing that I love from the Giants that was their pressure, and you talked about they look fatigued at the end of the game, and applying pressure takes a toll on you. And their pressure points at 190 for the whole entire game there, which is an incredible feat. And it was led by their leaders, but also their younger players coming through. Now we saw Thomas and Jones and small-bodied players, Ango, exactly, that aren't big in stature, but boy, they put some pressure on today.
Toby Greene there, reluctantly getting chaired off by two of his long-time teammates, Gilroy and Steve Cannelio. He was brilliant today, and they can celebrate in style as they should. We will take a quick break. We'll be back to wrap it all up. We'll hear the song. We'll get the thoughts of Jordan Lewis. Right after this, it was the Giants defeating the Blues by 28 points.
Well, there we go, folks. It was the Giants day today. I tell you what, they looked pretty good out there, didn't they? LMK, how you going? Welcome in. Brizzy supporter. Yeah, hopefully you'll stick around with us. Of course, that game's coming up in about 50 minutes' time. We'll be covering the Brisbane Hawthorn game, Triple B. Yeah, watch it on TV. Love a bit of football chit-chat. Absolutely. You got to love that. It was the Giants. I tell you what, folks, the Giants, they just created space. They left Carlton flat-footed in that final term. 5 goals, 3 in that final term to the Giants. Carlton could only manage 3 goals, 1. Yeah, there we go. Carlton, they just couldn't get the job done again. You know, as I said earlier, I tell you what, I like Curnow up the ground a little bit. It just creates space and gives Carlton a different look up forward. I've always said it, folks. I've always said it in the Carlton commentary. I always said I don't like when they play Mackay and Curnow in the same match together. It's just like they just keep going for these two players, and they do look more lively when their forward lines change, and they're not always heading to Curnow. I think it creates some more space and gives them more run on their forward line. Leasy, the little forwards putting a lot more pressure on. I certainly do like that. I know watching that then, they kept targeting Curnow. He'd go up, he'd have 2 or 3 opposition, ball come to ground, and Curnow just couldn't do the second, third efforts. And the Giants would just take it out of their back line all way too easy. And that's why I always like Curnow up the ground a little bit. Yeah, but look, playing forward down a little bit, but have him up the ground, swap it around a little bit, because it's just too easy for the Giants and the opposition to know exactly what Carlton are doing, what their plans are. And I think that's what gets Carlton in a little bit of trouble sometimes. Carlton had an inside 50s plenty of times. They had their opportunities, but those sort of situations, even though some of their decision-making in the ground, DXRKYT, go and said hi. I think some of their options going for Curnow when they could have had an open player, just wrong decisions. That's why I like Curnow up the ground, get him out of the forward line for a bit, change it up. But that being said, the Giants were really good. Their pressure was fantastic all day long. And of course, Toby Greene was outstanding today. Surely best on ground for Toby Greene, his 250th milestone game. It was a ring-a-ding-ding game from him today. And of course, the Giants, well, they look like a little bit of the Giants of old. They certainly came out to play. Both teams had a good crack at this game. Don't worry about that. It's just that the Giants, they just seem to have more run in their legs. And they just opened Carlton up in that last term, especially halfway through the final term, 2-3, where the Giants put on the final 3 goals of the match. Let's have a quick look. A wrap up of the goal scorers and disposal getters before we head back to the commentators and the song, because we're going to do the Brisbane Hawthorn game coming up next. Leading goal kicker out in the ground, of course, Jesse Hogan. 4 goals straight he kicked. To tell you what, he's pretty accurate, isn't he, Jesse Hogan? He kicked 4. Jake Riccardi with 3. Toby Greene, man of the match with 3 goals, 3. Well done. Callum Brown with 3 also. Aaron Cadman ended up with 2 for the Giants. Callum Ward with 1. And Kieran Briggs also with 1. For the Blue Baggers, it was Charlie Curnow, 3 goals, 3. Fogarty with 2. Will White with 1. Motlop, Lord, Hollins, Doherty, Paddy Cripps, Kera, all with singles. Disposal getter on the ground. There was only one that topped the 30. And that was Sam Doherty with 30 for Carlton. Toby Greene, man of the match on 28, 19 kicks, 9 handballs, 9 marks, 4 tackles, 6 clearances, 3 goals, 3. Let's hang on a sec, folks. We'll hear the Giants theme song in just a moment.
There's a big sound from the west of the town. It's the sound of the mighty Giants. The ground is shaking, the other teams are quaking in their boots before the Giants. Take the longest strides and the high sleeps. We're stronger than the rest. We're the greater Western Sydney Giants. We're the biggest and the best. And we will never surrender. We'll fight till the end. We're greater than the rest.
All right, there it was, the Giants theme song. You know what? It's not the best theme song, but there we go. They did it. Let's just wrap up these stats and we'll get back to the commentators before we wrap this coverage up. And you can check out your favourite players' stats. Paddy Cripps ended up with 25, 1 goal, 1. Tried his heart out all day. There we go. Leads by example, Paddy Cripps. Tom Green had a good game for the Giants on 25. Callum Ward also did his role for the Giants, 19 with 1-1, 2 clearances, well done. Harry Mackay, no score, just the one behind, no majors there, 18 touches for him. There we go. Tom De Koning for the Blues, 17 touches, played reasonably well, 25 hitouts, 4 clearances. Let's just roll down. Charlie Curnow, as I said, just the 12 touches, 3 goals, 3. They just target him too much for my liking down forward. Get up the ground, Charlie. Let your smalls do their job down there. Let them cause a bit of chaos down forward. That's what I say. I don't know whether they'll listen to me, but it's an idea anyway. There we go. Jesse Motlop ended up with 9 touches, 1 goal. Kieran Briggs there kicked a fantastic goal, like a soccer goal out of the air from a ball up, 9 disposals, 7 kicks for 1 goal, 2 handballs, 32 hit-outs, 7 clearances. Well done. All right, let's just have a quick look at the team stats there. She was pretty tight all game. The Blues actually ended up plus 14 on disposal count. Kicks, pretty even, so were the handballs. Inside 50s, both teams got plenty of it. Looking at the inside 50s, 58 inside 50s for the Blues for 22 scoring shots. 47 inside 50s for the Giants, 25 scoring shots, so they were a little bit more efficient going inside 50. 77% disposal efficiency, pretty good from the Giants. Actually, Carlton weren't too bad, 71. Efficiency inside 50, that's a pretty good number, 57% for the Giants. Free kicks, well, it was all tied up, I think, at halftime from memory. 26-14. The Blues can't grumble about that. They were plus 12 in the free kick count. That was a big plus 12 in the free kick count. Hit-outs, pretty even there, 31-34 plus 3 to the Giants. The clearances all pretty well tied up across the board. Plus 4 in the clearances to the Blues, plus 1 centre clearances and plus 3 in the stoppage clearances. Contested possessions, well, it looks like Carlton were a little bit better at the contested possessions. Uncontested, well, the Giants got a few of those in the final term where Carlton were left a little bit flat-footed. Turnovers, well, it was a little bit up on half-time. As I said, it was a pretty fast-paced game. They were going up and down. Any wonder Carlton got a little bit tired in that final term. The marks inside 50. Giants did it well. 14 marks inside 50, going at 40% above average. Of course, Carlton only the 8. That's because they kept going for Curnow. You always had 2 and 3 against him going to spoil. They've got to change their options. Carlton, I don't know what Michael Voss is doing down there. He needs to change the magnets on the board, get him out of there. Contested marks, Carlton plus 5 in that way. Tackles, Giants on top in the tackle count, above average there for the season. Carlton under tackles inside 50. Both teams doing well, 12 to 10 tackles inside 50. There we go. Let me try and load up this live ladder, and we should now see the Giants go from 9th to 8th. There it is. There is the live ladder there, folks. The Giants, after winning today's game, they've jumped up from 9th. They're now in the top 8 after playing 11 rounds. They've won 6, lost 5. 109.9 the percentage. Their percentage, not too bad. It's creeping up to where it somewhere has got to be. And, of course, Carlton, I tell you what, that's a big loss for Carlton, a home game after playing 11. 4 wins only for the Blue Baggers, 7 losses, 102.8. 2 games and percentage out of the 8 now. I tell you what, that's going to make it a little bit tough for Carlton. I tell you what, let's see who these teams have got next week. Of course, where are they? Well, next week, Carlton have a bye next week. Carlton have a bye next week, folks. So there's no winning for Carlton next week. No winning, no losing. They've got the bye next week, so that's come at probably a good time for them to start and refresh. Of course, for the Giants next week, the Giants, well, you would think they'd win this game next week, the Giants. They've got a home game at Engie Stadium, and the Giants are playing Richmond next week. Giants are playing Richmond next week. If we have to go back to have a look at this ladder, it's going to be an important game for the Giants. Sitting on 24 points, they win next week. That'll take them up to 28. So it'll all depend on what happens, especially with Adelaide, the Bulldogs, the Cats. There we go, for next week. Although the Cats have already played, depends on them. Hawthorn, the GWS Giants team will be hoping Brisbane Lions can win the next game for the Giants next week. Yeah, as I said, I think Giants should win that game pretty comfortably against Richmond next week. But what a fantastic game. It was a good coverage. Thanks, everyone, for coming in. We did have the poll in there. 57% actually went for Carlton today. Unfortunately, we got that one wrong, folks. Unfortunately, we got that one wrong. But not to worry. These things happen. Hey, we can do it all over again. in about 40 minutes' time, where the next game is coming up. Of course, that is Hawthorn taking on the Brisbane Lions. That's going to be a monster game at the MCG. Tell you what, it's going to be a monster game. We'll re-look at this. Brisbane win, they go on top of the ladder. Hawthorn win, they will go up to second on the ladder. Collingwood still yet to play. That'll be the game following the Brisbane Hawthorn game, which is going to be an absolute cracker game. We'll be there. We'll cover that game, as I said, in about 40 minutes' time, 35 minutes' time. Make sure you come along, folks. Come along, listen in with me. If you're watching, like Triple B, watch the game, and then you can come and have a bit of a chit-chat in the chat about the game and your thoughts on the game as it's happening. I want to thank everyone for coming into this game. Carlton to the Giants. The Giants 17-8. I tell you what, they kicked straight. They kicked accurate. That's what you got to do. 17-8, 1-10. They defeated Carlton 12-10-82. It was the Giants by 28 points today. Whew. All right, folks. Hey, it's only 37 minutes away from the bounce of the ball to the next game. So until then, ciao for now. Thanks, everyone, for coming in. Hey, we'll see you at the next game in about 35 minutes' time.